Erica Lorraine Spencer here. This is the P.O.C, Pattern of Conduct, real-time documentation of the state of California's criminal pattern of conduct of federal stalking in concert with the people of the state of California in violation of existing federal law, that is 18 U.S.C. section 2261A, subsection 1 and subsection 2. This is ongoing documentation that is specifically gathered following my release from kidnapping by this entity that was ceaselessly monitoring in violation of 18 U.S.C. and in violation of Title 15 and in violation of the Prison Rape Elimination Act, as I was subject to the same exact criminal pattern of conduct while kidnapped by this entity seeking to conceal this criminal system that I am documenting and publishing and exposing on the venue of the internet, where I am also subject to the criminal pattern of conduct, and understand that kidnapping is the pattern of conduct that is criminal obstruction of justice, as the entity seeks to avoid prosecution and to avoid documentation and exposure for engaging in this criminal system. The people of the state are the vicarious aspect of the entity. They are engaging in federal stalking as I am kidnapped by the state inside of the state facilities, all right? And they are fully engaging in kidnapping upon criminal summoning. So this is the this is the entity from beginning to the end engaging in the criminal acts of the federal stalking and the acts of criminal obstruction of justice. This is also documentation on the venue of the internet engaging in the criminal pattern of conduct via obstruction of justice, and this is in any way reducing or removing the ability to publish the ongoing documentation of the state's criminal pattern of conduct, which is waging an ongoing threat to my life as I remain subject to this criminal system. And this is the criminal pattern of conduct on the venue of the internet, okay? And that is the totality of what I have documented since release. I was kidnapped from June 18, 2021 from third-party facilitating venue of the Ontario Museum of History and Arts, where the Ontario Police Department were monitoring, and this in conformity to the ongoing wealth of documentation that I have already published, specifically revealing the Ontario Police Department engaging in monitoring and kidnapping, which was via the assertion of a fictitious warrant pursuant to a fictitious prosecution. That is the people of the state of California v. Erica Lorraine Spencer, case number Mary Wendy Victor 2000640. I was subject to kidnapping pursuant to this fictitious prosecution, documentation on the facility cameras everywhere that I was inside of the facility of West Valley, located at 9700 Etiwana Avenue in the city of Rancho Cucamonga, California, and at the state facilitating venue of the Rancho Cucamonga Superior Court, located at 8303 Haven Avenue in the city of Rancho Cucamonga, and I was subject to federal stalking ceaselessly at the jail, at the courthouse, in the courtrooms, okay? The same exact pattern of conduct ceaselessly underway. The kidnapping serves obstruction of justice, and that this is kidnapping that I endured from June 18th, 2021 up until August 16th, 2021. This is the P.O.C.
It's 6:19 a.m.
6:21 a.m. The state engaged in flying directly over the museum again, and I did capture images of that flying in that exact same uniform line, which the state engaged in hiding, as it is aware that I was taking pictures of it yesterday, doing the exact same thing, flying where I am, just like I captured yesterday over the Ontario Fire Department, and flying over everywhere that I was walking yesterday, and that's what they're doing right now over the museum, as the state was also doing so, monitoring via Union Pacific, monitoring with the people of the state that want to be close to me. You see the stalker personified through the people at the museum, and that's what I captured on video. This is demon possession and all the ways in which you're witnessing demon possession. It's 6:22 a.m. at the Ontario Museum of History and Arts at the P.O.C. 6:24 a.m. $6:27 a.m. Alright, and when I'm north of this location and the state is hovering over the building where I'm standing at, for example, the Ontario Town Square, where I'm standing at the intersection of the where the state's fake sun was in the evening, as you capture it, as I'm capturing it in the video, behind the Ontario police who are engaging in the same exact stalking that the state is doing in airplanes right now. The state is hovering over those apartment buildings and engaging and playing the same exact tape of sounding like it's taking off. As the state is at a different position over here, this is from the intersection of where I'm standing at Plum, and in between Plum and Lemon and Holt, and the state is south of that location, all right, and is flying in the west direction directly over the center of the museum where I'm at, and it's hovering over the museum as opposed to hovering over that building, and again, not rising in elevation, not taking off. This is called stalking in a plane and playing a tape of the sound. 6:28 a.m. And was doing so under the fake sun and under the fake moon. The sun and the moon are not on the same block, over the same address, over the same block. You literally have the fake sun that was on the same street. All right. After it left the entrance of the Ontario Overfamily Community Library, which is what you are clearly witnessing in my documentation, it moves to B Street, and it's quote unquote setting on B Street. All right. And on that same block, that strip of street where I'm at in between Lemon and Plum on B Street, the fake moon is right over Ontario Town Square townhomes. Right over that same corner little strip of the townhome area where the state is hovering over that townhome area in airplane as well, hovering over Metro 102 apartments like it's hovering over the museum right now. And the state is not taking off over Metro 102. It is stalking in an airplane. It is engaging in pacing. Just like the group stalkers, the hundreds of license plates that I documented, they are stalking in their vehicles while directed light is in that environment. It's demonic possession that I'm witnessing. Terrorism, all right? And the stalker that you saw in video over here at the museum, that's the stalker in the airplane that wants to be where I'm at, is an obsessed, demon-possessed stalker. 6:30 a.m. not taking off, flying in a straight line, is silent until it reaches the strip of the top of the museum right here while it's hovering. That's called amplification. That's artificial activity. The state is turning up the volume of it. That's the psychopath stalker, the unintelligent psychopath stalker. Hovering over Metro 102 while I'm there, hovering over Ontario Town Square while I'm there, moving its fake sun where I move to both of those venues, and then moving the fake moon as I capture from that location, from Ontario Town Square to what is the Ontario Fire Department, as the state then is flying and hovering over the Ontario Fire Department, okay, moving as I move. This is ongoing documentation as the state is revealing that it is a psychopath and a stalker engaging in terrorism. That's called artificial activity, turning up the volume, amplification. Making a U-turn in perfect alignment with me, and I'm taking pictures of it. Not going anywhere. Absolutely nowhere, not going anywhere. Just like its fake sun, doesn't go anywhere. It's 6:31 a.m. That's amplified activity. It's artificial activity. Because when they're taking off from the actual Ontario airport, they would be at a higher elevation, and it's not disturbing the residential areas. You're not going to hear those airplanes. And not only that, when you're taking off from the Ontario airport, if that was the case, they wouldn't be hovering over the Ontario Museum, over the Metro 102 apartments, over the Ontario Town Square, over the Ontario Town Square townhomes, over the Ontario Fire Department. They're not hovering. They're taking off just as though like the state is acting like it's taking off here, but it's not. The state is stalking here, hovering in airplanes, creeping around in an airplane, and then flying over at an opportune time to the sound of a tape, which the state is turning up the volume of an exceptionally loud volume. That's what the state is doing. That's what a stalker does. That's what a psychopath does. That's what the demon-possessed do. 6:32 a.m. And what the demon-possessed do in airplanes, that's what the people are doing in their cars. It's the same entity, the same demon possession. Everything that you're listening to, everything you're hearing is audible activity. The same demon possession. It's 6:33 a.m. This is called patrolling, and this is entirely demonic. That's FedEx. Those third-party group stalker FedEx, who you also see driving that fluid vehicle, engaging in terrorism, using that fluid vehicle, as I documented, using their vehicles and using their airplanes to engage in terrorism, and engaging in ongoing demonstration of demon possession, just wearing the FedEx brand. All right, they're psychopath sex offenders who happen to be working for FedEx. All right, and FedEx is operated by Satan. It's 6:34 a.m. $6:43. That is UPS.
AM.
AM. 8 RTC 227. It's 7:13 a.m. (9F11300). This is a Amezquita Trucking, California 259638. And the back license plate on this Amezquita Trucking is let's see. The back plate is 4SJ6644. That is 4SJ6644. Amezquita Trucking. AMEZQUITA. Amezquita. It is 7:13 a.m. (8UUR 523). 8 V.O.C 804, 8 S.I.I.S 317, 4 U.C 343. Excuse me. 7 P.O.V 765, 83080B3. 7:14 a.m. 8XTH 316, 7GTD 997, 5XHW 394. 7:15 a.m. 7GAW 405. That is plain activity while I'm standing in front of Rich's Second Jury and Loan and State Facilitated Venue, the United States Post Office at Hope Boulevard, 123 Hope Boulevard. License 8PGV855. I have moved away from the museum where the state is stalking, flying directly over the museum, and this is plain activity that's being amplified as I'm walking adjacent to the post office. That's called audible activity. 98228C2, 4UIZ312. OGCRUZN 44256Y2. Hilarious. 7ZXT449 8FLL117 60635K2 7KXR856 8VSS 755 RAULS56 Omnitrans. So Route 61 going eastbound, and it is in directed light.
its city and directed light, and stalking with light using its hazards as its third parties are the form for its stalking and relevant position. Paper BL68. I can't really see that one. And I am referencing the cameras on Omnitrans license 1545907, P.O.C. All right, license 8PCH959, 8GRL885, 8RAC754, 7PNX546, 7DFE767, 6ZFT423. Eight RJE374, I believe. 7SSJ890, 7BFA930, 8UMK493, 8TPZ770. All right, state's fake sun just jumps up in the sky out of nowhere, right? Now all of a sudden you can see it, and it is in alignment not with the museum, not with 150 East Holt. As I'm at that street, as I show you, as I leave the grounds of the museum, it's right in alignment with me on Holt Boulevard. And it literally just appeared in the sky right now, just popped up. It's 7:18 a.m. 03286H3, 7TET829, 8B62952, 7MAY676, 8EQD, I'm sorry, B820, 5T MW647, VL AROMA, VL Aroma, more like a stench, the stench of Satan, 7VHR 680. It's 7:19 a.m. 6U, I can't really see that one. 8BIX 316, 7CSY 827, 8UMH 378, 5H49338, 8TWD336, I believe. 8PWJ427, 8ETN805, 4YVC889, 7BYZ314. Seven ZKS011, 7ZAE167, that's amplified plane activity, group stalker at an Omnitrans bus stop in relevant position, bus stop number 5810. That's audible activity of plane activity, group stalker making U-turn on the traffic cameras at Vine and Holt, license AX12J54, paper plate, a white Honda Civic. That's a Latino male wearing a cap. $5YGR606, 9634T2, 96634T2. It is 7:21 a.m. 8SDK312. Seven S33716, I believe. 7JQK452, 7J26962, 8VZF724, BS98W88, 7J49960, 8XIG076, 7:22 a.m. 0756E1, I believe. Can't really see that one. 5ZTJ986. They are proceeding past traffic cameras at Holt and Vine at 7:22 a.m. They're driving east on Vine. I'm on Holt, sorry. 7GTE043, I believe. Driving east on Holt, east and west on Holt. I'm walking west on Holt Boulevard. The state is keeping its fake sun, Amazon Prime crossing path by a commercial truck pulling an Amazon Prime trailer. License plate and group stalking at third-party facilitating venue Custom Plastics, located at 531 Holt Boulevard. License plate 14682G3. License 8D40799. Um, 8U90867. It is 7:24 a.m. Five 3499U2, 8URX 254, 5BTR 555, 8RCT 829. The state is amplifying plane activity as it's flying over in relevant position. KDN 861. And there is the state's light source, which is far above beyond the Museum of History and Arts and Shiro's Liquor in that direction. The Wells Fargo, where the state is at this time, as I remain at that venue, proving my point that's already established. The state is stalking where I go, and this is this is Holt Boulevard. Wells Fargo is north of this location. 8M. I can't really see that one. It is currently though 7:25 a.m. and of course the state's fake sun is nowhere possible to coexist with being over me at G Street and Euclid. 7MVA619 at Starbucks at 507 North Euclid Avenue, 49673D3. And as the state is engaging in what is supposed to be taking off at the museum, the state is taking off not at the museum, it's taking off right over here at Vine. That's what you're hearing. But the state is acting like it's taking off like it's the airport at the museum and flying off, elevating and getting higher in elevation. That's not what the state is doing. It's stalking in a plane, and there's another one making a U-turn right here in a relevant position to me, which also is to a tape of an audible activity of the sound of a plane. 5PRL155. Okay, it's P.O.C. The perpetual taking off of planes where I am. That's essentially what the state is doing with regard to its plane usage and the audible activity of the plane, the soundtrack, if you will, as the state stalks in planes. 8G73943, 7WSS080, 5KUI918, 5ZFU776, 6RCG540, 8SEE876, I believe, 8NFD313. It is 7:26 a.m. 7MXM432. All right, and as I've also shown, like I stated, I demonstrated even the nuance that you see as the state is not next to the library, but it's over the Wells Fargo, as I'm on the same strip of street. I'm still at that turn circle of C Street. And at this time, that's where I'm walking north. The state's fixed sun is not remaining in relevant position in alignment to Hope Boulevard. The state is keeping in alignment with me as I walk north on Euclid Avenue to Wells Fargo, and showing you what is the difference between being on the side of the library versus being right there over the Wells Fargo as I went at that early time in the morning, as opposed to going to the health building at 150 East Holt, where the state's fake sun is over that building, over that parking lot while I'm at that venue. The state is over Hope Boulevard in perfect alignment, and as I'm walking through Ontario Village parking lot, the state's fake sun is moving in alignment with me, aiming light, it's directed light, amplifying plane activity, and keeping its fake sun, which is advanced west, in order to be over what is this parking lot of Ontario Village. All right, this is that which I've already established. So you're documenting what are the demons that are maintaining presence with that entity as they're engaging in what is terrorism, demented stalking. All right, the satanic ritualistic stalking that they engage in. 23662Z2. 7 RUS 326. Um, 8 EEY 240. 7B 388. 859. 8H. MV 296. 18293N2. 8 UAY 302. 7 CKS 778, 4 GOY 971. It is 7:28 a.m. Alrighty, it is 7:47 a.m. Sounds like City of Ontario group stalking in the parking lot. Yep, that's what that is. Under the fake sun at Ontario Village Shopping Center, 23103U1, 8SJE388, 7LDK819, 7JBP154, 8VMG706, 6JXX220, 66191U2. All right, that's called audible activity and directed light and under the state's light source. And they are creating light activity using that state vehicle. License plate 00225F2, driven by African American male. License 7B38, I already read that one. BS92E53, that's a paper plate. 8DTB964. 8SRU762. That's P.O.C. License of City of Ontario 1566902. And they come to arrive and empty the dumpster trucks in front of Habit. That's Satan driving a City of Ontario dumpster truck, okay? 7GBD426, 8HMV296, 8DTB964. And that is plane activity. 8CO2296, yet still hovering, never rising in elevation. Well past the museum, okay? 6ZXN563, 8WSC366. All right, documenting ongoing harassment inside of Stater Brothers. And I'm also taking images of group stalkers and the ways they are engaging in, which they could be doing backflips inside of the grocery store. They're in relevant position. But I'm showing you how demons are maintaining presence, standing at the ATM, carrying boxes while they're lugging what is inventory, and at the same time engaging in not carrying items that I frequently purchase. This is how a third-party facilitating venue engages in targeting and harassment. They're demons. That's how demons behave. 518WT, that's a handicap. BLJL196. And hey, are you thirsty? Yes, you are, Satan. License plate. It's 7:49 a.m. 4GOY 971, 8CZN 960. 7SUM 991, 34471L2, 6PZG628, 7ZUU563, 8ROD477, ROD, yeah. It is 7:50 a.m. 8CIZ 905, 4UTK 514, 18165V1, 8MOR774, 8MQM656, 7DXE732, 56017S2, 7S29322, 5WSL033, 8URH561, 8WPL087. Ongoing terrorism, not only by the environment as the state is stalking by third parties in the state, but that ongoing directed light on the surfaces as I walk around in the parking lot. All right, so as I'm documenting them engaging in acts of terrorism, 7BTR673, 4SXH842, 4WIF923, 7KRX529, 8PPE332, 4ZTB021, AA10926, that's a Connecticut license plate, and I documented that license plate already. 7TZT361, 7JBY518. C3B58363. Entering on camera inside of the village, 8TDW576. All right, let me see. 6EWH460, 7TIW172, 70588D3. 7RDY777, 7URZ253, 7AXC701, 7MZD866, 5ZMK673, 14099, 9B1, 6X33670, 5YQE823, 7YUA391, 5BJJ315, 5VWS648, 6M40170, 6PHX799, 8HEU813, 65616V1, 8CQZ910, 7YWM124, 8VML932, Washington plate BPL3844, sitting in directed light, license of a paper plate, BR67G91, sitting in directed light, an impossible light next to me as this group stalker opens the door. This is Satanic, 8JBM146, 6YHT662. All right, 7PEJ790, and here's the fake sun on this side of the Ontario Village Shopping Center. And this group stalker, a Latino male, and 5JBM146, who is sitting in the shade. Impossible light, just like I showed you at the Senior Center parking lot, just appearing in the atmosphere at the same time that that group stalker opens his door. That is demonic. And I'm going to show you a picture of the fake sun as I'm facing what is a coin laundry, Demoda, tropical fruits. It's supposedly shade, so I'll take a picture of that. All right. The state's fake sun directly over the parking lot on the opposite side as I exit Stater Brothers. As I walk to this part of the venue, the state's fake sun is exceeded over the Stater Brothers building. It's right here on this back portion, moving as I move in the parking lot, okay? And then it's going to advance across the street to be over Starbucks, as I have already documented and as I continue to document. All right, and that's Ontario Police Group stalkers, demon-possessed stalkers, monitoring with the same entity as I'm documenting them, okay, under the fake sun that is following in real time, just like the Ontario Police are following in real time. It is, hold on, 7:53 a.m. Ontario Police license plate 1510640 and Ontario Police 1503481. What's your name? Officer Arnold. What's your badge number? 19964. What makes you come through here? Just patrolling? Under the fake sun. That's called relevant positioning. Thank you. That's audible activity. What's your name? Hey, how's it going? Doing so. What's your name? Burke. B-U-R-K-E? B-E-R-T. Oh, Bert, like as in Burt Reynolds. But he's not a stalker. What's your badge number? 80442. Okay. Thank you. It's 7:54 a.m. Monitoring with the people. Under the fake sun, they're maintaining presence, especially as there's shade over here. And as I document again, the movement of the state's fake sun, the state arrives directly, okay? Just like the sheriff's department under the fake sun on B Street, where the state's fake sun was also setting yesterday on the same B Street where Ontario Police were, as I captured that in the background. That is P.O.C. It is 7:54 a.m. That is documenting the state directly and vicariously. It is... upon exiting third-party facilitating venue Stater Brothers, and so I want to document ongoing harassment at that venue and the ways in which they engage in targeting. These are the demonic behavioral pattern, very, very petty, using whatever they have at their disposal, in other words. So if I was at a donut shop, like I said, it doesn't matter what it is. If I was at a donut shop, you're talking about hostility to documentation. Oh, I'm sorry, we don't have any more of those types of donuts. 8WPL087. This is a pattern amongst the people who are engaging in what is a monitoring system that is directly relevant to what I'm speaking to, as with as it pertains to what is harassment, okay? You are under the fake sun. You are engaging in the methods of targeting that you have at your disposal, which is not petty. It's a petty tactic, but understand it's bigger than that. So it's bigger than a donut, all right? That's not the issue. I don't really care about the donut, actually. I'm gonna document you for engaging in methods of harassment. This is an aspect of terrorism, as the demon-possessed stalkers that are the people of the state engage in that targeting conduct at all times, everywhere that you go. Okay, that is an aspect of terrorism, especially as they are monitoring your documentation. And I want to document her. Her name is Martha. She's at the Delhi area, and she is the same one that was crashing a shopping cart. This is a psychopath. This is a demon-possessed stalker. And she works inside of that third-party facilitating venue, and utilizing what they have at their disposal, making unavailable foods that I typically buy. And I also capture the image of the face, the third-party owner, Tony. His face is bright and shiny on that sign out there, and he is engaging in facilitation. He is directly engaged in monitoring, as I've documented, and he is the head honcho at that third-party facilitating venue. License plate 8RMJ126, 7FJK511, 8PKU904, 7MVC708, 8HEU920. 6GND731, 0067-182, 7XFD246, 8VSH549, 7LJP918, 7KYT804, VET2MPA. Fake sun is right here over the Starbucks. I'll give you a picture of that. It is 7:57 a.m. And group stalkers fill the venue, as is the case, but this is the context. Everybody that I'm encountering and everything that they're doing is relevant to their status. They are third parties, all right? And you keep that in mind as they do and say everything that they say. 8UYR822, 6JXX220, 3H13684, and this one is... That's the state amplifying plane engines flying in direct alignment with the Starbucks as group stalkers are lining up. 8WHW013 and 7JXR318. All right, and let me show you the elevation of this plane that is still audible. Okay, that's called audible activity, and you're not going to hear that. And you also have clear stalking in airplanes. All right. All right, and patrolling 7FJT760. Yeah. License. All the many faces of Satan. All right. Demon possession 8EDA249. Patrols in and out of the parking lot. The stalker 7JXR318. All right. P.O.C. It is 7:58 a.m. and the state's fake sun is visible over the same location where it remains for hours. All right. At 10 o'clock in the morning, when I come out, the state's fake sun is in the same position that I just took a picture of it, right next to the logo of the Starbucks sign. Okay. And the state's fake sun doesn't go anywhere. And that's when I'm at this venue. The state's fake sun is over the room, and I'm gonna bring that up because that is a very pivotal point, which the state cannot get around. There is no clouding up the sky to get around that. That's documented. And the state's fake sun is not both remaining over this venue at 706 West Holt, which it is if I'm capturing the state's fake sun, which is right next to the logo of the Starbucks sign. But at the same time, east of this location, as I clearly documented, the state is remaining over the Wells Fargo building, where I remain there for hours, making my point as the state's fake sun is east of that location. Directly above the logo of the Wells Fargo building, by the way, moving to both sides of the building as I walk back and forth from Ontario Town Square side to the C Street side, documenting the people while directed light is all over that Wells Fargo ground on the floors, while Garda World is engaging in criminal defamation. They engage in what is the threat of criminal summoning as they're hostile to your documenting their demonic activity, which is terrorism. That's the pattern of conduct by demons, third parties. All right, this is all ongoing at the same time while I am here. This is the same time frame at 706 West Holt Boulevard. Not only that fake sun, but that directed light. And that is what is inside of Starbucks while third parties fill the venue. Okay? P.O.C. It is currently 8 a.m. It is 8 o'clock on the dot. And these are called minions. In here, surrounded by directed light, under the fake sun. That's what's so pathetic about demons. It's funny. That is P.O.C. It is 8 o'clock on the dot. And I also want to document, like I said, Tom's number 1, they're monitoring, they're in relevant position. All right, like I said, it's not isolated. I'm isolating P.O.C. to where I am, but just like the Ontario Fire Department showed you yesterday, not only is demon possession vast, you're talking about monitoring with communication devices, which spans a radius. The Ontario Fire Department was at B Street in Euclid creating light activity, while the state is where I am keeping its fake sun and keeping its fake sun over my head and directed light all around. And the Ontario Fire Department is monitoring at that vantage point in relevant position to where I am in the library. That is ongoing, okay? These venues all around are monitoring together while I'm inside of the venue where the state's fake sun is. That is where the center of activity and center of light activity is, all right? It is 8:01 a.m. That's P.O.C. All right, I did capture a substantial documentation. That's about a 3-minute long video showing you ongoing directed light. Not only is it clearly impossible light, that's the purpose of the term of directed light. It's not sunlight, it's not naturally occurring light. It is light that is being directed, it's light that's being aimed, it's light that is being strategically placed by the state, and you're looking at the clear, unnatural environment and the conduct of that light. Not only is it impossible to coexist, you're looking at the trajectory of it and you're reducing that, and you're also looking at the magnification of it. It's not just my shadow. My shadow was enlarged, my shadow was upright, and there is also more than one shadow, and there are different methods of light. You see the concentrated light on the floor, you see the light that is also on the ceiling, you see what is stationary light, and you see what is dynamic light moving around, and you're also looking at the light that is, as I documented in here, as they move around, that is third parties, and they have more than one shadow, okay? Magnified, multiple shadows. It is 8:08 a.m. and that's documentation of what is federal stalking by the demon possessed. That is exactly what that directed light is speaking to. This is terrorism, as I just got more direct evidence of that. And also what is outside of the private space that is speaking to the sex offender that is engaging in monitoring that demonic activity, where they are corporately engaging in what is literally maintaining constructive presence inside of the bathroom while your panties are down and knowing what you're doing, stalking with activity, stalking with their presence, and stalking with light inside of that presence, inside of that private space. And that is all that is, I just documented. That's the substance of what I documented as the state is aiming that directed light inside of that private space. That's exactly what these demons are doing. The state is flying over, which is also what I documented while I'm in the parking lot. The state's fake sun is directly over the building, which is what I'm capturing while it's right next to the logo of the Starbucks sign as I'm standing in the parking lot facing the entrance, all right? In direct opposition to remaining over the Ontario Museum of History and Arts, for example, at this time at 8:09 a.m. where I am still on the grounds and the state's fake sun is in perfect alignment with me on the side of the building of that property where I'm at. That is not the case. It is over, I'm capturing it over the edge of the building of the Starbucks, and in addition, the directed light that is inside of the venue. While minions, these are the demon-possessed that are occupying the building on the inside in that environment, intentionally present, acting in concert with the state, all right? This is terrorism as I'm documenting it. It's 8:10 a.m., and that is P.O.C. All right, I did capture the sex offender that is Starbucks, stalking inside of the bathroom, the demon-possessed. That again, this is not only is it the sex offender that is acting clear to, it's acting straight as I am revealing it as they are sex offenders, okay? And so this is revealing how the demon-possessed are violent sex offenders and acting true to form as I reveal that. This is also hostility by the demon-possessed as I'm documenting them. And the foolishness of that is as I document them and you provide a light show, it's direct evidence against you and everyone else. But these are demons that you're dealing with, and that's the demonic behavioral pattern in it. It's very unfortunate, but it's very good for purposes of prosecution, okay? So I'm documenting, and that is the ongoing sexual violence as Starbucks enters inside of the restroom, as I go inside of the restroom, and there is no form that you're stalking in the bathroom. You're already in relevant position inside of the building. The state is already amplifying, the state is aiming directed light, the state's fake sun is over the venue. This is Starbucks engaging in affirmative conduct to sexually violate, sexually offend, as they are the demon-possessed, knowing what you're doing inside of a private space. They don't have to be looking at you and hold a microphone to the door. This is demon-possession that I'm exposing, and they're stalking with activity, and that's demon-possession that I'm also revealing to you as you're looking at what is the impossible light activity, telling you exactly the condition that the people of the state are in, and that is demon-possession. That's what you're looking at. That's what I'm revealing as you're witnessing that directed light. Okay, and so that demon-possessed stalker wearing a Starbucks apron, stalking in the bathroom, that's stalking in the path, as I am in the restroom, physically indisposed, genitalia exposed, engaging in a private activity, which is a matter of public information as the state is monitoring together inside of this venue of Starbucks at 706 West Holt, where the hallmarks, all of the hallmarks are present, and you have what is a creation of audible activity with simultaneity to my genitalia being exposed. All right, that is the sexual violence as they are engaging in the criminal elements with real-time knowledge of your physical state. And that's sexually motivated conduct that exceeds monitoring with communication devices. This is that demonic system in operation. All right, and you are looking at also what I'm revealing with regard to demon possession by a public entity, by the people of the state. It is irrespective of any company that you're working for. So I am literally exposing demon possession who happen to be working for Starbucks, who happen to be working for Amazon Prime, the Ontario Police Department, the San Bernardino Sheriff's Department, the Ontario Ovitt Family Community Library, Stater Brothers Markets in the city of Ontario on 646 West Holt and at 1939 East 4th Street. It does not matter where you're going. You're talking about demon possession, which is vast. It is indiscriminate. And I am also documenting the companies as this demon possession is one that is utilizing as form, which it does not have. But this is how demon possession is in operation, all right? Public corruption is how you would address that, because this is public corruption of the demon possessed who are engaging in a criminal system together. And so that is sexual violence documented at Starbucks. Starbucks is a sex offender. The state of California is a sex offender. As you're documenting, you're slicing down actors. Starbucks in and of itself is a sex offender and engaging in affirmative, sexually motivated and perverted, demented conduct. This is the psychopath stalker that wants to stalk in the bathroom and engage in the criminal elements of monitoring with knowledge of your exposed genitalia while you're not even holding a cell phone. Okay, that's the pervert, all right? That's what I just documented on video. And this is also what you're considering when you're looking at the impossible light activity. That's demonic, that's terrorism. And they're engaging in that conduct while you're inside of the private space, okay? You're looking at enlarged shadows as I step out. You're looking at humongous sized shadows that are upright on the wall in the depths of the Starbucks, and this is supposedly coming through the drive-through window. All right, this is entirely demonic, and these are perverts, and that is what Starbucks is engaging in and facilitating and providing a banner for it. Okay, and that is direct evidence. And this is, let me be clear, these are concessions by demons who know that they are heavily documented, and who are literally they can't hide it, and so you engage in more of it, which is legally analyzed as an unlawful threat, an impermissible threat, as demons are engaging in that behavioral pattern. This is the threat that the entity wages, and you prosecute for that. Okay, and and you create policy for that, understanding the behavioral pattern of demons as they are threatening your life, engaging in this sexually violent and life-threatening system together. The people of the state and the public entity. It's 8:19 a.m. That's P.O.C. at Starbucks. All right, Selena, she is the one that is getting me a cup of ice right now. And thank you. It is, I did ask if they knew the source of what is the light activity in here, and clueless. There is no explanation for that. It's my addressing directly a third party and a sex offender, while that direct evidence of what they are engaging in is present, which is also undeniable. They're looking at it, I'm looking at it, and I documented it. It is currently 8:23 a.m., and that is very violent sexual violence documented at this venue. That's P.O.C. And I documented a series of third parties en route here, all of them engaging in that sexual violence. It's an ongoing criminal act, okay? So you're talking about, this is the same entity that engages in sexual violence and kidnapping and engages in physical violence, assault with a deadly weapon. This is a criminal that does not get any more egregious than that, okay? And this is the same one that wants to stalk in the bathroom, that wants to be beside me at the museum, that whole property. It doesn't matter whether you're homeless or not, wants to be by me, wants to touch me, wants to listen to me pull my panties down, also wants to engage in physical violence, assault with a deadly weapon while they're hostile, as I reveal the fact that they are an obsessed stalker. And that's the reality of the situation. All right, it's 8:24 a.m. Group stalkers, these are the demon possessed, and that is undeniable. You're looking at the environment. They're buying coffee while they're engaging in demonic activity and terrorism. All right, it is currently 8:25 a.m. So, sex offenders, monitoring with Starbucks, who's stalking in the path to create form, which there is none, for audible activity creation while demons want to stand around and listen to you use the restroom, listen to you pull your pants down. All right, 8SKE770, 8NO5707, 8PKU904, 8POV013, 8JIE777, 7KYT804, 8VCW619, 8LFL729, 8RQS197, Ryder, RYDER, the commercial truck, engaging in that same conduct that I showed you last night. They're maintaining presence on the opposite side, parked outside of Tom's on the sidewalk. That is a surface. That large truck is used as a surface, which the state is aiming directed light, impossible light activity on the surface of that truck. They're monitoring inside of Starbucks. Crossing path BM873E4, that's a paper plate. This group stalker that I captured on video engaging in sexual violence, where Starbucks let him inside of the what's supposedly the employee restroom. He's loitering in relevant positions, stalking at the bathroom side of the venue. All right, so sitting in the parking lot, stalking, sitting under the state's directed light and the fake sun, maintaining presence. He's manning the path. Okay, that's 6GND731. That Latino male, he's a sex offender, and that's the one that was doing the same thing that I captured the Starbucks employee doing this morning, stalking in the bathroom. And monitoring with the state while your panties are down. All right, that's the state. That's the state of California. That's what demon possession is about, by the way. And that's what I'm saying. There's nothing OG. There's nothing cool about it. AX77K25, and this is what they've been doing for years. And so you're revealing what are demonic actors and showing the perversion. 7MRC437. And the sexual violence that they engage in routinely. 8C81758, 8LDF579, paper plate. B S65J01, 8JKL107, 8SMM399, 7BCT836. Right, I did go ahead and document the video showing you what is the movement of the state's fake sun as I move around in the parking lot, and also showing what is common sense, and that which I've already documented. There is no vantage point of any sun or the fake sun that is going to result in that direct evidence of what is directed light. The state's engineered light is direct evidence of what is federal stalking. All right, that unnatural environment, you are engaging in federal stalking. And that is also the evidence of what is demon possession. And as Starbucks engaged in a flagrant display of demon possession, that is terrorism. And in doing so, including inside of that private space, while they literally engage in the affirmative act of stalking, going out of their way, that is, to communicate a sexually violent threat, stalking in the bathroom, entering, as I enter, in relevant position, and that which is inaudible. You're not going to hear a toilet flushing from that toilet, from that bathroom across the little hallway. And as well as you're not going to have sunlight that's moving around in large shadows coming through a drive-through window. But let alone you have what is the affirmative act of sexual violence by Starbucks. All right, that is Starbucks is a sex offender. Okay, it is currently 8:30 a.m. and I did step out to capture that video. So you want to take a good look at that, and you're witnessing what is demon possession by it's demon possession, period. And what is the context? It happens to be demon possession by Starbucks, all right? And this is relevant because the state is engaging in terrorism, and this is terrorism underway at that facilitating venue, and this is sexually violent conduct that they are engaging in inside of the private space, all right, amongst the demon possessed. Absolutely demented conduct, all right? It is 8:30 a.m. and that is P.O.C. Demons continue to fill the venue in the ongoing maintained environment, all right, while harassment is inherent to the pattern of conduct, and that is what they are engaging in on a constant basis. And these are demons that are focused on the target individual, buying coffee while doing so, having no form, but this is revealing how demons are engaging in the system on a ceaseless basis. 8:31 a.m., that's P.O.C. All right, it is 9:49 a.m. and I did capture what is, before I left this venue, the state's remaining presence of its light source. And again, it is not just over the venue of Starbucks, which is clearly not the sun. All right, it is also over me as I stand inside of the Starbucks as I'm looking out the window. All right, very precise to my physical location. And what I'm pointing out is the state's fake sun is at the same time remaining over what is the Ovid Family Community Library, as I clearly capture it over my head, standing on the side of the library facing east under that side of that portion of the library. And this position at 706 West Holt is at the intersection of Holt and San Antonio, which you can clearly see as the people are patrolling under that fake sun. You are witnessing demonic activity. All right, you are witnessing what is terrorism as that environment is present. And I'm also taking pictures. What I captured is the state's directed light, which is on the floor. This is the state engaging in terrorism, invading every space that you're at with its directed light. That is not sunlight, and that is not the sun over the venue. 60XM152. And what the state is doing while I'm inside of the venue of Starbucks, again, engaging in ongoing molestation and assault with light. It's literally a battery with light. The state's instrument of criminal activity is the state is engaging in its method of directed light, which is flashing, touching all over my body, which while I'm publishing the documentation. So they're all monitoring together, and the demons are surrounding, and the state is just engaging in an ongoing accosting with light. 28572U2. All right, and these psychopaths are just surrounding, standing in that venue while they're all monitoring to that. All right, that's the satanic aspect of what they're doing. 6EIW918. 8ELX736. 8PKU904. 8MLU660. 8NVV312. All right, and as I point out in the video, and as you can clearly see, that's not the sun, that's over the Days In room at room 103 in perfect alignment with me as I stand there. And you're also looking at what exists as the state invades with its light. I've got double shadows, directed light inside of the hotel room that is moving it in real time, as I also show you, and what is the ongoing demonic invasion, if you will, with the state's light. And that is also supposed to coexist, as does the totality of all that documentation. And so that's a video that I'm capturing as the state keeps its fake sun over my head and then goes to be what is east of this location over the Ontario Ovid Family Community Library, in direct conflict with that ongoing documentation that has already been published, speaking to what is the demonic system in operation. And also what I capture in my podcast as I'm documenting the terrorism and stalking conduct of the Ontario Police Department, who arrive pursuant to the demonic behavioral pattern. They are always stalking, inconspicuously remaining in relevant position, as I document what is the state's fake sun that has advanced over to the backside of what is Stater Brothers. Remember, it's over at the entrance of the Stater Brothers. So as I go around Coin Laundry, that shaded area of that building, and I'm capturing a picture of what is the state's fake sun, which is necessarily over now on the backside of that Stater Brothers as you're looking at it. Ontario Police cross path, then they enter inside of the parking lot, and then they are driving past and they're just driving by. Understand that's federal stalking, and that is how the entity engages in a threat. All right, knowing that they don't have anything that they can say, their presence is the statement. while federal stalking is underway. All right, so I'm documenting what is demons, first of all. That's the threat. And that is the ongoing stalking conduct by the Ontario Police Department, and that is a threat as I'm documenting third parties. That is a threat as I'm documenting the state's fake son advancing over that Stater Brothers to the backside, because that's what that picture is capturing. It's no longer in the front of the parking lot over my head, where it is at all times of the day, by the way. It is over the backside necessarily as I'm capturing it on a different angle, opposite the front entrance area of the Stater Brothers inside of the Ontario Village Shopping Center. As soon as I begin mentioning this, Ontario, please come into sight, because understand those stalkers are always in relevant position stalking. 8 APF 647, that's what criminal summoning is. Summoning the entity which is supposed to be formed for their visual presence while they are always stalking in relevant position. This is the system in operation. This is a demon pushing a shopping cart under the fake sun. All right, this is license plate. I'm going to get 4Y36077, which is crossing paths. If they're not American citizens, they're out of this country. Demons that are engaging in terrorism. All right, license plate GONZKRU. All right, and this is what I mean. There is no separation there. They are of one mind. The demon-possessed are engaged in coordinated conduct. All right, so as I'm documenting, I walk in a different direction to get that demon that's using a shopping cart to stalk with activity under the fake sun that is over my head in the Stater Brothers parking lot, no longer over the window of Starbucks. You have a demon that comes right in front of me to cross path with the vehicle, maintenance of presence, all right, directed light beside the vehicle of 67605M2, demon possession. BH79367. It is currently 9:54 a.m. State's fake sun is not over the side of the Ontario Family Community Library or the entrance. It's right over my head as I stand inside of Ontario Village. 7RUS 326, 7UDB 428, 8KGC 825, 8CIZ 698, and it is 9:55 a.m. 8LWA018, and the demon going in the opposite direction, 8VJR673. That's how they're pacing together, okay? 8JVA418, directed light beside the vehicle as they cross path under the fake sun. Demon possession, all right? It is 7ULU009. It's 7:56 a.m., and they engage in that pacing conduct as I'm, you hear in the background, apologies, that's my, I'm operating my phone with my headphones. So, apologies, but as I'm operating my phone, they come and pass. They're stalking with activity. That's what that is. Also, that's going on in the background that I'm documenting as I am using my phone, as you hear. So, ready? It is 9:56 a.m. All right, 7JTB888. 8TYW494, 5UJA592, 7L89461, 5UYJ748, 7VCD834, 8EHC723, 8MVW174, in case I didn't read that one already, 7TOW334, excuse me. All right, maintaining presence, group stalking, sitting in their vehicle as I cross path in the parking lot. So they are stalking in the path, sitting in their car as I'm walking. 8LIY596, G813CO, 7Z51148, 7XRV321, 8KRS191, 6VHA060, 8JSW538, 7YEN328, 7LZS546. 6YOU546, I believe. Let's see. 8WGA174. No, that's 6YOU545. 6RPR604. 8REU045. 8UVK643. 7KUD373. 8 WVC 382. All right, States Fake Sun right now is at the entrance where the Bonita is of the Ontario Village Shopping Center. It's right here, which I've already captured, being over at Panda Walk. And the States Fake Sun remained over here over this precise edge of this building for a duration of hours, while the States Fake Sun remained here and ongoing directed light as group stalkers like 5JIB 888 were crossing paths. That's where the States Fake Sun is right now, no longer over Starbucks, no longer over the entrance area, no longer over the back part behind Stater Brothers or Ontario Village either. 7 MWB 261. 8 EHC 723, directed light beside that vehicle as they cross path. 8 JCB 395, and beside the vehicle, by that I mean it's on the ground, moving in real time on the passenger side, on the ground next to that vehicle. All right, that's P.O.C. That's the maintenance of light on surfaces in motion. That's light activity via impossible light. And that's not sunlight, right? And sunlight is not moving in real time next to your vehicle. This is the mark of demon possession, though. And this is terrorism as demons are engaging in monitoring conduct. 7ZYS 486, 7JFH 611, 5SEU 670, 123 SL, that's a handicap, 8WUS 342, 7KYW 911, BAVK 248, BSGZ 791, 53851R1, 4LQX 364. And contrary to what the state did this morning, keeping in alignment with me on Hope Boulevard, now as I am walking in a different route from the Ontario Village, I'm walking what is north on Bonita. And the States Fake Sun is moving north up Bonita to remain in relevant position over what are third-party facilitating venues. There is no shelter from prosecution while you are in whatever you pay your mortgage or your rent in. It's a facilitating venue. 5UMK 829, where the state is amplifying plane activity, placing directed light, and putting its fake sun over. 8TCC 938. All right, that's direct evidence against third party with license plate 43700W2. 7 PEJ 790, group stalking in the parking lot, holding a Bible, engaging in a demonic system. All right, that's the mark of demon possession while you're holding a Bible. Does not matter. 7ZLV009, 6LGL146, 5GGA947. All right, demons hopping into the vehicle with license plate 6TPA176. 8HKA 739, 7ENY 531, hopping in order to cross path at 6TPA, and monitoring with a minor child 176, monitoring with a minor child. 7VOH 213, 8CWC 990, 26350X1. D 87492. 7ZOC 394. 7MOC 569. 8PSZ 419. 7GJE 681. 8HLV 089. 8TEF 568. These are facilitating venues as I'm passing each and every one of them, walking east on what is Vesta, and the States Fake Sun is moving east and remaining over my head, no longer in any way over Starbucks, and not possibly ever under, at this vantage point, the Ontario Ovid Family Community Library, or the side of the library, or the parking lot of the library, or behind the library. All right. Also, 10:03 a.m., not over the museum, Ontario Museum of History and Art, specifically over the south side while I'm on that side, or the north side. Nowhere over that building. It's right here over me, where minions are patrolling under the fake sun. 23F1970. That's a motorcycle, as you can hear. It's called audible activity under the fake sun. 8ALU297, 7YKM93S, or 935, excuse me, hold on. 935. I'm sorry, 4YKM955, 8AJJ775, 7GYZ585. This is plane activity over these venues. All right, I just wanted to capture that video real quick, speaking to the substance of what I'm documenting, which are group stalkers, terrorism, stalking while you are in relevant position in a facilitating venue that you may pay the rent in. You don't have any shelter from prosecution. License 8TYJ206, as the state's fake sun is right over my head at this intersection of Vesta and Vine, I believe. Vesta and Vine, 7JID013. And demon-possessed stalkers are patrolling in their vehicles, 8MDV007, under that which is not the sun, 8RES036, and under circumstances of what is not sunlight, behind, in front, and behind their vehicles. That's called directed light. This is also the mark of demonic activity, 8KGT728, and they are engaging in terrorism, 4ZET950, 8NNE206, and together stalking, 8RGB870. 5TIF304, and that was the state showing again its stalking conduct, targeting where its audible activity of a plane and its location of flight. 5VGE455, making a U-turn over these homes right where I'm at, all right, and amplifying what is the sound of plane activity, where the fake sun is right here over my head, and it is 10:05 a.m. and I'm proceeding now to walk what is north on Vine. 6FRE202, 7LWY277. 7SSJ890, 7LPN649, 6SWW001, 56985C3, 8NND987, 8HJB408, 6UZE062, 7XQS041, 7V88940, 8UND513, 65863N2, 7YOU838, 5HWB592, 6VAT035, 8XMD126, 7WFL448, 998YLT, that looks like a Colorado plate, I believe. 8BQM951, or 851, excuse me. 8RNV625, and those vehicles directed light on the driver's side of their vehicle, which is the side facing me as they are driving west on C Street past me. All right, that's the targeting focus. That's how you know what they are and what they're doing. And possible light beside their vehicles on the same side that they're passing me on, 5YAB900. And where under no circumstances that's going to occur anyway, that's not sunlight, and the fake sun is over my head as I'm walking down C Street. AU11K65, 5LJK885, 8RON601, 5PZC061, 8NZL961, 5UBK603. 8WHR353, K45I, looks like they covered up their license, 5YOK810, 8WND306, 7TAP357, 7TWV669, 13970D3, 4WLR 474, 8GLL 048, 6WKR 851. It's 10:08 a.m. 8JXF 252 or 8JXE 252. I believe that's an XE 252. Yeah, that's XF 252. Yeah, XF 252. 7FRW 923. These demons are just driving around, pacing and making U-turns and stopping at the intersection. That's what demons are. That's what they're doing. They're stalking. 10985F2, 6D21016, 06792T1, 6U32615, 6APV251, 68813S1, 5SAH131, MAR1027, 8HFJ942. All right, and that is the maintenance of audible activity by a third-party group stalker in relevant position, using their private residence, which is not a private residence, it's a venue, but this is how the people engage in the P.O.C. The fake sun is over my head. 5VMB663, there is no form. There's no assertion of ignorance or excuse. R680XO, because the state's light source is intentionally there, and it's there, and so are the remaining elements. Stalking is underway, and you are facilitating it, and demons are doing so with knowledge, okay? 7NZA611, 6RHN831, 6UUU422, 8VLY372, CE844 handicap, 1753MB, GPC graffiti protective coatings, license plate 50875K1. This patrol vehicle is pacing back and forth under the fake sun. It is a means of relevant positioning under the fake sun. I am on C Street, so they are on B Street engaging in that patrolling conduct, acting with the Ontario Police, monitoring with 8LOA149 who crosses path right next to me. Okay? 8ULX115. It is 10:11 a.m. That graffiti commercial vehicle whose license plate I read, stalking with light, they stop in the path in front of a driveway, right-hand relevant position, turn on their peculiarized light, the blinkers on the car. 7ZPN998. 8MOA750. All right, and the music that you hear, that's called audible activity. The demons of the Route 66, all the hundreds that I documented last night, demons are gathering again right now under the same environment, engaging in what is no form for pacing around. 7LZS294, 7ZJT109, because that's what they're doing under the fake sun and indirected light. These are demons that are pacing around and engaging in their ritualistic stalking conduct together. All right? And you're understanding how demonic activity can be right in your face, and you're looking at it as though it's appearing as some sort of event, like at Disneyland, and it's actually demonic activity that you're witnessing. All right? It is 10:13 a.m. License plate 7UUH728. That's audible activity, while 7UUH728 is crossing path. And that's the graffiti vehicle, commercial vehicle, that license plate I read, creating audible activity, acting, doing the same thing that I've documented heavily with the city of Ontario doing, using that commercial vehicle to do so, okay? Light and audible activity. And keeping it ongoing where I stand at the intersection. This is paper plate BS89R87. That's an African American female. BS89R87, directed light on her passenger side as she drives past me in the shade. Okay, that's a demon-possessed stalker. 8MOA750. 8MQA750. Directed light in front of their car. Directed light behind their car as they drive past in the shade. Demon-possessed stalker. 8XNT965. Directed light appearing not even by their car, right in front of me in the shade while they're turning the corner. Demon-possessed stalker. It is 10:14 a.m. 8ULX115 comes over to his car that's parked over here. This is a means of maintaining presence under the fake sun. Demon-possessed stalker. All right, his car is parked here, so someone who's parked near me where I'm standing comes to their vehicle. And it's Garda World. License plate 16UA531. The same one whose mug I got on video and gave you criminal defamation under the fake sun and in directed light. I'm going to prosecute him and that company. All right, he's stalking again. License 6GYK645. I can't really see that one. Or at least that's who's accessing that car. Like I told you how group stalkers conduct themselves. It's not necessarily their vehicle that they're getting into, their home. They know they're being documented, 7DYM739. Nonetheless, the one whose mug I clearly captured, bearing Garda World and that number, identifying his employee number with Garda World at Wells Fargo, where the fake sun remained in direct conflict with where I documented it, not only right now, but at the time earlier than this morning while I'm at Starbucks and walking down the street. That is who just accessed the license 8ULX115. I just captured video because I wanted to give you yet another example of that very short prosecution of Garda World, who I captured on video. Again, you see him stalking right here, sitting underneath in relevant position, accessing third-party vehicle 8ULX115 under the fake sun, which is over me at the intersection of Laurel and C Street at 10:15 in the morning. And you're going to remember again what I documented. Not only is the fake sun over Days Inn, over 1405 East 4th Street, room 103, not just over the property, but over my room, over my head, as I aim my camera up, just like I did right now at 10:15, and I'm standing at the intersection of Laurel and C Street. All right? You have what is the ongoing maintenance of an environment as the people of the state and the state proper are engaging in what is demonic, demented group conduct. That is referred to under federal law as federal stalking, but these are the demon-possessed engaging in federal stalking, and in this demented environment that they are intentionally maintaining, they are engaging in what is terrorism, that which is intended to terrify, traumatize, strike fear, all right, and defame, as you report that which is unfathomable, okay, but for documentation. And this is the absence of the state's light source over Ontario Over Family Community Library. Indeed, it is directly over my head at that intersection in direct conflict with where I've already documented it. Let me get these license plates for you. GEF 472, W189WO, 1BCHN34. You're hearing the audible activity of what is demonic conduct at the Route 66, where they're engaging in federal stalking. A bunch of demons, all right? They're all gathering together. This is absolutely satanic. So this is the context to what you're listening to. That music is audible activity under the fake sun. And these are demons that are looking like they're admiring vehicles, and they're doing so in relevant position in directed light. These are demon-possessed stalkers. License A429SCJ. License 4D2CRUZ. 8MNZ380. 6RQA807. TTLS 67. 7SDB200. 69HOTSS. 1BO5327. J974SO. This looks like an antique. It just says 1969. I don't think that's the license plate on that vehicle. 3EVU531. All right, nothing cool about being a stalker under the fake sun, but let me give you this license plate. STYLN64. Stylin64 is a stalker. 4TWC178704JOE. License plate 07458A3. All right, and it is 10:21 a.m. 2JRG651, 6JAF134, 68VELSS, JUDGE14, 543BZO, 5UBY960, 2STZ017, 4AKM415, RUSTZ36, NAV703, 5UKE141, 5VWG161, 459DTF, 0YY911. I'm reading the license plates on these vehicles that are lined up on the street, that are on display, I suppose. CEX095, that's the Arizona plate on these vehicles. The city of Ontario has become the pinnacle of what is demon possession and stalking, and for prosecution, a template for how you're going to prosecute an entity. 34A276 says California 1938. That's a vehicle. BAAD72 FUGI68. Ontario Police and Ontario Fire Department. The state's fake sun is moving in tow as I'm walking through this event. This is terrorism, okay? This is how you're recognizing the demon possessed that engage in terrorism. QXA296. Right, in the midst of what you're listening to, right? This is an event and the fake sun is moving over my head. That's terrorism. That's the demon possessed. All right, that's how demons conduct themselves. They have zero form. Ontario Fire Department out here engaging in this demonic activity. Ontario Fire Department and the Ontario Police Department. YNOT 58. KEVB 064. And this is (6BDS 634). Ontario Police. crossing path under the fake sun right here, all right? And this is how they're engaging in the P.O.C. This event is supposed to be the forum for what they are engaging in, and you're witnessing how the pattern of conduct is underway while you are engaging in outwardly an event, all right? And the pattern of conduct of federal stalking is underway. The ongoing environment is being maintained. All right, Ontario Police Department and let's see, Diamond Environmental Services, California, number 442235, license plate, this commercial actor, 60505U1, and license plate 84737Y2. It is currently 10:24 a.m. Same exact stalking by the state, flying right, the state's fake sun is right over my head, and the state is amplifying plane activity. The Ontario Fire Department in relevant position, license plate 1332568. Ontario Police in relevant position, license 1589378. Alrighty, it is 10:24 a.m. All right, I did capture what is documentation, and what you're hearing is a demon stalking with activity. He closes the door as I walk past, okay? That's the fire department engaging in federal stalking. That's the demon possessed. And I just captured video so you can see it with your own eyes. Ontario Police and the Ontario Fire Department are in relevant position, and under what is the provided guise of an event where their presence is presumably required or requested, and the same exact elements, the same exact environment is present, the same exact stalking with planes, helicopters, under a fake sun and indirected light is unchanging, all right? And so that is speaking to what is revealing public corruption and the ways in which a public entity engages in it, engages in the system, engages in the practice of Satanism in plain sight, okay? And that's exactly what I just done right now. It is 10:26 a.m. I am now at the property of the Ontario Open Family Community Library. Let me show you what is the fake sun over the parking lot area as I walk a different route on the opposite side of what is the side of the that I sit usually facing the senior center. On the opposite side of where the state keeps its fake sun, at the entrance in alignment with me at the C Street turn circle in the evening, over the entrance as I enter, in front of the entrance as I exit after 6 p.m. All right. And this is the state's fake sun, which is over the parking lot, because I'm walking from this vantage point, where I'm walking from what is Euclid Avenue. You see where the state's fake sun is over my head as I go through Ontario Town Square. The state's fake sun is over my head as I come from Holt Boulevard, walking from the health center to B&G Plaza and walking up Plum. And the state's fake sun is over the Ontario Town Square townhomes, remaining in stride. The state is moving its light source from the direction that I am going, remaining over me as I went through that entire venue and documented an act of terrorism by the city of Ontario, calling it Route 66. Okay, the same exact terrorism and sexual violence and federal stalking underway. It is 10:27 a.m. and let me give you a picture of what is the state's fake sun on the opposite side of the entrance from where it remains at the entrance after 6 p.m. and then, like you saw yesterday, setting based on where I am at, and I put that in air quotes, on B Street, where it was in the morning over Metro 102 on B Street, where I captured the demon-possessed stalkers that are the San Bernardino Sheriff's Department. All right?
All right, I did capture substantial video, and I'm just showing the state's light source moving in tow today based on a different direction that I'm walking. All right, and that's what the state does based on the direction that I'm coming from. That's where the state's fake sun is located, and that's called stalking, and the state is doing so in an unfathomable way, an unheard of method, stalking with a light source, speaking to the existence of a system, and it is also the mark of demon possession, that by the entirety of the entity that is engaging in that system together, literally everyone that you can document, and there is no shelter from any sort of identifying an actor in that environment that is being maintained for that criminal and demented purpose. And that is exactly what Route 66 is. That is exactly what I'm documenting as I'm walking through the neighborhoods, and the state is flying over me by airplanes, amplifying audible activity, following with directed light while the people are engaging in concerted conduct of maintaining presence under that light source and in directed light. All right, so it is 10:32 a.m. and this is arrival at that state facilitating venue, the Ontario Open Family Community Library, after leaving the Starbucks, and before that, what is the Stater Brothers, and the state engaging in following the entire time with its light source from the museum, and not remaining over what is Holt Boulevard, for it to be over the parking lot of the library. Understand that is in direct conflict with what I'm capturing this morning as I walk to the venue of the Ontario Village and Starbucks area. But when I am walking from that location in entirely different route, the state's fake sun is not in alignment with Holt Boulevard. It is moving everywhere that I am moving. All right, so as I'm walking from Ontario Village, up Bonita, down Vesta, down Vine, down C Street, the state's fake sun is moving down that squiggly path, north, south, east, and west with me, and as opposed to remaining in a straight line in alignment with me as I walk up Holt Boulevard, for example, as it did this morning. All right, and the state is maintaining that precise location over my head, while also, it's not just that, you're paying attention to also what is the directed light, that which is not even sunlight. All right, while they are maintaining presence, that is the people in the state maintaining presence and maintaining light on surfaces as they cross path. That's what that is beside their vehicles, in front of their vehicles on the ground, as sunlight does not do that, obviously. That's the group stalking conduct. That is the mark of demon possession. That is a terrorism while federal stalking is underway, as an entity is stalking together. And that's the totality of what I documented. Yet again, it's 10:34 a.m. and that is P.O.C. It is 4:44 p.m. I just want to document the tactic that third parties are engaging in, being in the bathroom before I get into the restroom. And this is the creation of activity. You're still engaging in the same creation of activity while I'm in the restroom. It is also crossing a path while they are already loitering in relevant position. And this is the same exact monitoring in a private space. They're stalking, knowing where I'm going, being there before I get there, coming in while I'm already in there, remaining in relevant position all around, monitoring with real-time knowledge of what I'm doing when my panties are down while you're outside around the bathroom. These are the same stalkers that are doing so. And then as I enter, that is the relevant positioning. Directed light remains present, and activity creation. So I just want to document that tactic as well, which is also on the surveillance cameras, that it is the same monitoring in the private space, and I want to document that. It's 4:45 p.m. At State Facilitating Venue, Ontario Ovitt Family Community Library, and that's P.O.C. All right, I am capturing images of what is federal stalking on the internet, which is the interstate commerce that is engaged in as the people of the state are monitoring via communication devices in the environment where directed light is present, and they are stalking with activity, which is also the demonic activity that they are engaging in corporately while they are monitoring on the venue of the internet, all right, interrupting internet access. And I did take screenshots of that. So this is an ordinary YouTube video. It's, I believe, less than 30 seconds long. And what I capture a picture of is how, first of all, I'm getting group stalkers that are to my right. These are the employees at State Facilitating Venue, Ontario Ovitt Family Community Library. The same psychopaths, all right, the same terrorists, the same sex offenders that I captured downstairs in the quiet area. And what they are doing, these are the psychopaths that I mean. These are demon-possessed actors who are monitoring on the venue of the internet And the context is that they are engaging in what is demonic conduct while they are with simultaneity to my operation on the internet, outwardly sitting at a desk, stacking books on a shelf, stalking with activity is what they're doing. And so that's a demon, all right? That's demon possession. They are engaging in the demonic behavioral pattern, and directed light fills this venue, and the state's light source remains over this venue, as I have captured day in and day out. And I took pictures of them. They are a sample because the people continue to patrol back and forth, and that's what you're looking at on surveillance cameras. They're walking past and hitting objects, acting like, oh, I bumped into that, I'm sorry. Oh, are you okay? Dropping things. And these are demons. They're stalking with activity while they're doing that, and these are the freak weirdos that I'm documenting, okay? They are literally engaging in stalking with noise and maintaining the noise level in the same way as I document outside, where the state is doing this with airplanes. And this is what I'm referencing while I'm documenting the state stalking in planes and helicopter. This is exactly what the people are doing inside. They don't have helicopters to fly around me. They are walking around making loud noises, stalking with activity as they are monitoring on the internet, engaging in obstruction of justice. That's the criminal objective. All right. But I am documenting what is also the direct evidence of the federal stalking that I'm alleging. My phone bill is freshly paid, by the way. I am on the T-Mobile network, and my phone has been stalled for a 30-second video onto YouTube, stalled at 9%. That's what I took a screenshot of, and stalled at what was 39%, and then it dropped back down to 33% of the video of a 30-second video. Okay, and it just so also happens to be that which was documenting the state stalking me by helicopter from this same venue, the Ovid Family Community Library, where they were also engaging in sexual violence on this day via the security guard who engaged in activity creation by busting open the door and threatening to call the police. So that was sexual violence via harassment. All right, and this is a long-term pattern, as I have already referenced. But these are demons that I'm taking images of, and they're just a sample because they're all doing that. They're walking past, hitting objects. I'm hearing on both sides of me as I seek to upload this video. On my website, on my right side, I'm sitting at station 28, and they are I'm hearing something hitting. They're hitting objects. It typically sounds like they're hitting the surface of a desk. But again, remember, these are demons, and the state is also chiming in on the P.O.C. on a constant basis, filling any area where I'm at with artificial noise, with simultaneity. So say some third party is, offbeat or something. There is never any moment where what I am doing is not followed with audible noise. That's the audible activity, all right? And that is the demonic conduct that they are engaging in on camera. All right, there is no normalcy. I have established the environment that they're in. I'm taking pictures of those who are around me, stalking with activity, engaging in what is terrorism, as these demon-possessed actors are monitoring on the venue of the internet, okay? And that's what I took screenshots of, showing the monitoring conduct on the internet. That's direct evidence of that. And I'm also taking, I'm also want to document on my podcast the psychopaths. That's the terrorism, because everywhere that you are going, this is the demonic behavioral pattern. The state is doing it in astronomical methods with planes and with train, all right, with sirens, and doing with the amplification of any ordinary noise, such as a car engine or a car alarm, right? And third-party group stalkers, the demon-possessed that surround you at all times, are surrounding you with noise and doing so with simultaneity to what you're doing, both while you're physically indisposed inside of a restroom as well, and while you are on the venue of the internet. These are demons having that uncanny ability to do so, and this is everywhere you're going. That is terrorism, all right? That is an environment, that is conduct that is designed to terrorize, as the target individual is subject to this everywhere that they're going, 24 hours a day, all right? It's 5:26 p.m., and that's P.O.C.
Okay, I did exit Ontario Ovid Family Community Library, and what I was documenting was ongoing monitoring on the venue of the internet. And again, the demons, because that's what they are. They're demon-possessed stalkers that are inside, engaging in the demonic behavioral pattern, while the state is keeping its light source, aiming its directed light, and the Ontario Police, the City of Ontario, the state acting by plane and helicopter, which I also captured on video right now under the fake sun in directed light, is monitoring together. Okay, and so that is the totality of the picture while I'm documenting on my phone the evidence of monitoring on the venue of the internet, which is utilizing interstate commerce while federal stalking is underway by the demon-possessed. This is the twist, all right? By the demon-possessed, who are together engaging in what is federal stalking and terrorism as they engage in those criminal elements of monitoring, which are demonic. They do so corporately. And so I just got documentation of what is the directed light that is reaching so far deep into the library through the entrance area. It is past the circulation desk. That's where it's reaching inside of the depths. That is right where the private area, the private spaces, of the restroom, and that is a sexual threat. That is the same exact conduct that Starbucks engaged in with the directed light on the ceilings inside of the depths of that hallway where the bathrooms are. That is the same sexually violent threat that I just documented right now. And then I step outside and the Ontario police are present, engaging in federal stalking and monitoring on the venue of the internet the entire time that I've been in there. So what I'm taking screenshots of, they are out here monitoring on the internet. That's what they are doing. That's what Ontario Ovid Family Community Library is doing with the Ontario police, who are right outside the doors, while the fake sun is right over the venue, and the directed light is reaching inside of the depths of that venue. And as I step outside, the state is flying in a circle over me in a helicopter. The Ontario police are using their lights, stalking with light. That's a terrorizing threat as well, while they're engaging in the element of light activity, and doing so in that environment while wearing a police uniform. This is all represented. This is all demonstrative and relevant to the analysis of federal stalking by law enforcement intending to terrorize, also a demon-possessed law enforcement agency, the intent to terrorize while they're engaging in criminal conduct, which is demonic. Right? And I want to be clear, that's what's ongoing while I'm documenting the demonic activity by the actors inside of the library. And this is what's going on outside and what has been ongoing outside, out in the venue. Understand, Route 66 is an act of terrorism, like I stated, like the environment establishes. All right, and there is no argument for that. Okay, so you have what is the maintenance of that state's light source and the directed light. And what I was speaking to is the state's directed light as I'm showing it inside of the depths of the library, while those state actors, the employees of the library, are congregated around the bathroom. Those are demons who are listening to me pull my panties down and use the restroom, listening to everything that is going on. It's a matter of public information, acting in concert with the demon-possessed actors outside of the bathroom, in relevant position, under the fake sun, utilizing their police vehicles for light activity, while the state is aiming directed light. These are demons that are engaging in that sexual violence together inside and outside of the building. Okay, while the state is engaging in aiming that directed light, and what I showed is that directed light is inside, what you see inside of the depths, and it's also outside on the hallway. So this is what the state, this is that massive directed light that's inside of the entrance and also reaching down the depths of the shaded walkway on the outside of the library. Okay, and I did take pictures of that. You're looking at both those demons that are standing in that directed light. And it's also relevant. You're also analyzing they're standing in relevant position outside of the private space in that directed light, acting in concert with the police who are congregated in relevant position outside of that private space, under the fake sun, in directed light, and doing so with a helicopter that then flies over my head in a circle while the Ontario police drive by. Okay, that is the ongoing communication of a threat by the entity that is monitoring, that is demon possessed. All right, so this is terrorism on more than one front. It's terrorizing because this is law enforcement engaging in federal stalking. That's in violation of existing federal law. That's 18 U.S.C. Verbiage. Okay, and with regard to engaging in federal stalking, being law enforcement representing the state, which goes for the fire department, this goes for AMR ambulance, this goes for the state that is stalking by helicopter. This goes for the state that is stalking by third-party commercial planes, all right? That is the state that is utilizing third-party commercial planes, airlines, to engage in federal stalking, which is the provision of instrumentalities of interstate commerce to engage in that terrorism, all right? Which is also sexually violent because, understand, Delta Airlines, Southwest Airlines, FedEx, UPS, Amazon Prime, Frontier, all of these third-party airlines that have provided their instrumentalities, understand, these are the same demon-possessed actors who are engaging in that same sexual violence while they are stalking in such manners. This is the prosecution of such actors as the unprecedented sex offender, all right? This is the application of that entire policy to every method of engaging in the state's criminal pattern of conduct. And so that's what I capture right now as I exit the venue. And that is the bigger picture with regard to the demonic activity and how they are maintaining and engaging in the state's demonic, that's terrorism, criminal pattern of conduct of federal stalking inside of the venue of the Ontario Ovid Family Community Library, in that unnatural environment, not only acoustically, but as far as the light activity goes, all right? And then also you are speaking to what is the demonstration of what is demon possession in that environment. All right, so that is terrorism inside of that venue as well. And then you have what are demon-possessed stalkers acting with the state inside of that venue to engage in stalking in the bathroom. And that's what I documented. Again, this is sexual violence inside of that venue. And Ontario police, they are documented as engaging in sexual violence as well, right outside the doors of the venue, outside of the doors of that bathroom. Directly in alignment, using their vehicles as light activity under the fake sun in the directed light, which is reaching inside of the depths of that venue while my panties are down, my genitalia is exposed, engaging in a private activity, which is a matter of public information amongst the demon possessed who are stalking and maintaining real-time knowledge of everything that you are doing, whereas the doors and the walls and the ceilings are no obstruction to the demon possessed, and also for communication, monitoring with communication devices. And that's the reality of this system and the sexual violence that the Ontario police are engaging in. And then being subject to that sexual violence by that law enforcement agency, and then driving by representing a threat as they're engaging in the criminal element, simultaneously understand what they're doing. You're crossing path in directed light, while the state is amplifying train activity, helicopter activity, and you're speaking. This is all audible activity as this demon-possessed actor wearing an Ontario police uniform is crossing path, and this is monitoring by the demon-possessed, all right? That is a very violent act of terrorism, as I just documented it on video. Speaking to and demonstrating the ongoing necessity as a matter of justice, disbanding the Ontario Police Department, all right? And that is the helicopter amplifying audible activity yet again in the same exact environment, Ontario Town Square, which is a state venue, engaging in not only monitoring all day long, but monitoring right now while the state is flying over that event in a helicopter, okay? Nobody has been shot. It's the ongoing stalking conduct by the state as I continue to document, and Route 66 is nothing but an act of terrorism, like I stated. It is 6:13 p.m. That is P.O.C. Route 66 crossing path in a golf cart while the state's fake sun is aiming under the same exact shaded walkway. And by the way, not in alignment with B Street as I walked that way yesterday, and the Ontario police were in the glaring light behind as the fake sun was in the backdrop of the Ontario police engaging in stalking at B Street. I'm not at B Street. The state's keeping its fake sun right here in alignment with me at the shaded walkway. While Route 66 on a golf cart, all right, is crossing path. That's the same exact conduct, and that is that actor, Route 66, engaging in the criminal system. Outside of the fact that they are holding an event facilitating this act of terrorism amongst the state and the people, in addition to creating audible activity in that deliberately maintained environment, and engaging in what is corporate sexual violence as all of these demons together are monitoring one who is physically indisposed and whose genitalia is exposed and who is engaging in a private activity, which is a matter of public information amongst the demon possessed, who are engaging in federal stalking together in concert with the Ontario Fire Department, the Ontario Police Department, the City of Ontario. And this is the host of this act of sexual violence and terrorism, Route 66. All right, it's 6:15 p.m. Let me a picture of what I'm describing, the state's fake sun in perfect alignment with the shaded walkway that I stand under, and understand in the morning at 7 o'clock in the morning, it's right here beside me over the same shaded walkway. That is P.O.C. And I did just take pictures of that. It is 6:15 p.m. And the people are just pacing back and forth through the walkway where the state's fake sun is in alignment. This is maintaining presence in the path, just like they do in traffic, all right? Just like they do anywhere that I'm loitering, where I remain, they are loitering in relevant position. And it is 6:16 p.m., that's P.O.C. That's the state sounding sirens competing with the Route 66 event. In the state's directed light under the fake sun, where the people are maintaining presence all around, pacing around in the 280 North Lemon Apartments parking lot, sitting around at the bench where the state is covering the grounds with directed light and keeping its fake sun in alignment with me, acting with the Ontario Police and the Ontario Fire Department, who are sounding sirens and using their lights on the vehicles. 6:17 p.m. This is demonic activity. Sirens again, 6:29 p.m. And I'm taking pictures of group stalkers. They're loitering in relevant position, and you see the directed light that surrounds them. And they are standing around conversing. That's audible activity. They're standing around in the state's fake sun and directed light. Okay, this is the same thing I'm documenting while they're in their cars patrolling and under the state's fake sun and directed light with the same Ontario Police Department. And while the state is sounding sirens again at 6:29 p.m., I just want to document that as well. That's the Ontario Fire Department maintaining an ongoing soundtrack while these demons maintain presence walking past the walkway of the Ovid Family Community Library. I want to make sure that you pay attention. What I'm going to publish are images that I captured. This is the direct evidence in the same way that I'm capturing them now. You're looking at them. They are them being, these are the demon possessed. They are legally referred to as the defendant, which shall be identified as the people of the state of California, third parties, okay? And the state surrounds. The state is present as you see the third parties in the directed light. You're looking at that on the surfaces all around. All right, the state is sounding sirens as I'm continuously documenting. As I captured on video yet again, the state is flying over in circles in a helicopter. All right, this is what is ongoing while I'm capturing images of the people that are stalking in the path, demon-possessed stalking, okay? This is terrorism as I'm capturing it. And this is while the kidnappers, the Ontario Police Department, and this is understanding what demonic activity is. These are kidnappers that are engaging in stalking one person, and they go to the extent of having an event whereby this is essentially subterfuge. It's not essentially, that is what it is. It is subterfuge. All right, they are engaging in what is presence through the people's having an event where the people are monitoring with the state. There is zero form, but you are understanding demonic activity and how demons operate. You are looking at, in other words, what is terrorism going by the name of what is Route 66 at a facilitating venue, right? And this is the reality of what I'm capturing. So what you want to pay attention to is, because not only am I going to publish the videos, but I'm focusing right now on my exiting of the venue, the sexual violence, documenting the Ontario police as sex offenders, okay? That's what they are. And this is evidence of that, okay? So you have what is the directed light sweeping inside of the depths of the library, okay, at the entrance. And remember, the state is keeping directed light in the venue all day long. The state is keeping the fake sun over the venue all day long, all right? And then you have what is directed light reaching inside of the depths. And understand where that is around the private space, that is a sexually violent threat. That's what I documented this morning at Starbucks, like I stated. That's a sexually violent threat. And that is what I'm capturing as you are looking at the state actors. That is Gianna. She is covered in directed light. She's standing behind the other psychopath. They were stalking with noise inside of the library while I'm using the internet, and they're monitoring with the Ontario police who are stalking outside of the doors of the library under the fake sun and directed light. All right. And you are looking at them standing all in what is directed light. All right. Not sunlight and not the sun outside of the doors of that venue. All right. And not any form, that is Route 66, for what is the stalking, maintenance of presence by the kidnappers that are the Ontario Police Department. And the Ontario Fire Department, who have also engaged in documented kidnapping, all right, with that same police agency, okay, sounding their sirens repeatedly. These are kidnappers. This is demonic activity. This is ongoing stalking going under the name of Route 66. So Ontario Police Department route crossing path right now in the same exact environment on a golf cart. Okay, that's P.O.C. at 6:33 p.m. That's what's ongoing. I want to document that. And this is what I'm going to publish. In addition, so I'm going to put my videos. I'm going to publish those videos, but I also I captured still images. And like I have already stressed, the images, the pictures that I take are just as equally captivating and central to understanding moment by moment, even in a chronological manner. It is very important to understanding and looking and witnessing what the state is doing as it is doing it and what is coexisting with what they're doing, right? So anyway, like I stated, I'm going to publish those images so you can see the light activity as I'm capturing still images while I am subject to unprecedented sexual violence by these demon-possessed stalkers, and they're covered in directed light. The venue was filled with directed light at the entrance, and then I'm walking outside, and it is the same conduct. It's the same environment outside, okay? And this is going from the face of one sex offender to another, one wearing a badge stating Ontario Police, the other an employee of the Ontario Family Community Library, and I'm capturing the entity that comes in the library to stalk. They're stalking and creating activity, monitoring with the Ontario Police, monitoring with Ovid Family Community Library. Those are the images, the totality of that, the ways they're engaging in what is federal stalking inside of that private space. You prosecute for what is a very violent sex offender. And that is the sequence of events as I captured them in both still images and on camera, okay? And this is a matter of minutes as I'm going from inside of the venue to outside of the venue to documenting the Ontario Police, who have been fully engaged in P.O.C. the entire time that I've been inside of the venue. All right. This is what is the evidence of monitoring while I'm capturing my videos that I can't upload to YouTube, staying at 9%, uploading and then decreasing in percentage of upload progress. All right, this is called patrolling. I'm taking pictures of them. They're patrolling on golf carts. That's Route 66, and it was Ontario Police before, and you're looking at the directed light that they're patrolling in. All right, these are minions that are maintaining presence and they're monitoring together. And you look at how the people of the state who are violent sex offenders monitor with minor children, okay? In the same way that you likely will not bring your children to any other violent crime to participate in it with you. It's going to be the same thing, and it will be prosecuted in the same way with regard to a public entity engaging in federal stalking, and the ways in which the people of the state include and utilize, even use as the guise of hiding behind the face of children. All right, this is contributing to what is delinquency, to what is corruption of. And let me be clear: demon possession is not limited to 18. I've already stressed that, but that's neither here nor there. That's neither here nor there for purposes of prosecution and punishment and exposing the full breadth of the criminal and the disgusting, despicable acts of the entity. It is a matter of justice, and it is absolutely necessary to address the use of minors while you're engaging in that unprecedented, sexually violent, life-threatening conduct. That is terrorism. All right. So that is what I'm documenting as well. And you're looking at the ongoing environment, which is the evidence of demon possession as one demon after another is crossing paths, psychopaths. All right. Acting with that entity. And so that's what I'm going to publish in my video on my I'm publishing this on my podcast, but this is that which is tethered directly to the images and video that I captured. They go hand in hand. It is an incomplete picture if you are not looking at the video. A lot of the video is capturing what I'm not capturing on the podcast. That's where you're hearing pauses in between my podcast, because I'm stopping to capture something that you need to see. All right. And so it does go hand in hand. It is a complete package of documentation. And so I will be publishing, and right now I documented all day long today, but I'm focusing now on my exiting of the venue, and I'm capturing what is sexual violence. And this is that which I've already shown. The police are engaging in federal stalking conspicuously and inconspicuously. These are psychopaths who are hiding around corners and back streets, hiding behind the people while they are maintaining activity and monitoring to the activity that the people create in that environment that the state is maintaining, while they are hiding around like psychopaths sounding sirens, and while the state is maintaining activity. The Ontario Police Department is maintaining presence, okay? They are doing the same exact thing conspicuously, hiding behind the name of what is Route 66 event, and the same exact criminal and demonic conduct is underway. Right? So you have what is sexual violence, the sex offender, that is the Ontario Police Department. They are in the bathroom with me monitoring while that overweight, demon-possessed stalker U.S.C. that I capture on images is in the bathroom stalking with the police. Okay? They are in the library monitoring on the venue of the internet, obstructing justice, trying to stop my ability to upload videos onto the platform YouTube. They're monitoring, all right? They are and have been all day long. Every time I pull my panties down, the Ontario Police Department are listening, and they are stalking in the path. And that's the reality, okay? It is 6:38 p.m., and that same entity flying a helicopter over me while I step outside, understand that same psychopath sex offender is doing the same thing while my panties are down. And the reason why I'm explaining it in that manner is because that's exactly what they're doing, and it needs to be clearly understood. I will not mince any words. When you are understanding what is demonic and what is rampant and unbelievable levels of sexual violence, that is no longer a secret amongst the demon possessed. All right, that is what they are engaging in, and that's what the entity just demonstrated as it flew over me in a circle under the fake sun in direct light with the Ontario Police and the people. That's exactly what they're doing while I'm in the private space, and they're all listening. It's a matter of public information, and that demon possessed stalker that's flying in a circle above me is doing the same thing while it is monitoring what I'm doing in that private space as I pull my panties down. Okay, it is 6:39 p.m. That's P.O.C. It is 6:45 p.m. I just want to document ongoing use of sirens by the Ontario Fire Department. And I took pictures of the same little minion, this underage minion over here, this is a demon-possessed stalker who's just happens to be under the age of 18. So understand that this is the reality of what I'm documenting. This is demonic behavior that this young man is exhibiting. This is terrorism, though, nonetheless. And so you prosecute the same. And so this is in many ways uncontemplated. The government engaging in what is terrorism, doing it through the people. Terrorism is engaged in by those who are underage, all right? And terrorism, which is an ongoing threat by the government acting via someone who's under the age of 18, and in no way, and as a matter of justice, while you are threatening the life of a target individual, acting with, for example, the Ontario Police Department, who's creating light activity in perfect alignment at the same alignment where the state's fake sun is. This is the Ontario Police maintaining light activity while they're monitoring on the video of the internet. And this demon-possessed stalker, this young man who I've already captured clearly in video, is stalking with activity using his skateboard. And he's acting in concert with the minions who are walking through the walkway of in between 280 North Lemon and the senior center and the side of the library. And what is the light activity that the state is using now? Not only is directed light always present, you're talking about this Ontario police who are creating, and I want to document Route 66. Their event staff are engaging in the demonic behavior pattern with the police, patrolling with the rest of the people. All right, so I'm going to make sure I specifically cite Route 66. They are an actor, and they are engaging in the demonic behavioral pattern, wearing event staff shirts, pacing back and forth, using the golf carts, monitoring and patrolling with the police. The state is maintaining perfect alignment with me under the shaded walkway, and these are demons that are pacing. Right, and that's the ongoing context. And that minion, he stops skating as he knows he's being documented, and picks up his phone and looks. And understand that's operation of a communication device. And I'm taking a picture of the context. The Ontario police are right behind me, using their vehicles and lighting them up. And this group stalker, and understand he's not acting by himself. This is the people monitoring to what is terrorism of an underage person engaging in that criminal act, which is delinquency, life-threatening conduct in concert with the government, facilitating that. All right, you're going to prosecute. I'm letting you know this is the reality of what they're doing, and this is why you're going to prosecute. All right, there is no shelter whatsoever. So with regard to the prosecution of the police as well, you're looking at them engaging in the elements, and you're looking at the maintenance of activity and the means whereby they are doing that, and it's not separate. It's the ongoing system underway. All right, you have the Ontario Police conspicuously engaging in it under the absence of any form, but what they are utilizing is Route 66 as the excuse for their form. They are the exact same stalkers in the exact same directed light, stalking conspicuously, which is a terrorizing threat. This is the threat that the demon possessed, that this system wages while they are engaging in this system in plain sight. All right, and you are stripping down what and understanding what they are actually doing while they are engaging in whatever it is that they are engaging in, which is their outward form, as demons are engaging in the system together. And that's the reality of what this Route 66 is. And I told you that before this even occurred, when they started posting the signs. All that the city of Ontario is engaging in is a criminal obstruction of justice. As I'm documenting the state system, I'm going to prosecute the municipality itself, as well as the state and the people of the state. All right. This is all that they're engaging in, and this is the purpose of the Route 66. And that's just the reality. This is a demonic fest that is underway, and this is the ongoing documentation and all of the unprecedented criminal conduct that the demon possessed engage in without your knowledge. All right, you don't know that it's ongoing because you don't even know that demon possession is around you. But I'm letting you know what it is, and I've shown you the evidence of it. And this is that tendency of the demon possessed to resist, and that's going toward policy. That's going toward prosecution, disbanding any agency engaging in terrorism, which is what this is, and that is what is going to happen with the Ontario Police Department. Disbanding that they are criminals, outright flagrant, gross criminals. Okay, and it is 6:49 p.m. and that's the substance of my documentation. This is patrolling. Route 66 engaging in patrolling. Ontario Police creating light activity. That's P.O.C. and monitoring with minor children. Okay, it's 6:49 p.m. All right, I want to document the terrorism because that's how it's breaking. That's what they're engaging, what the entity is engaging in. Excuse me. On terrorism, and this is as I'm describing what is pacing. The entity is maintaining presence and pacing in all manner, including the audible activities. So first of all, the Ontario Fire Department is engaging in repeated use of its sirens as audible activity as pacing is underway. And pacing is demonic conduct. This is the maintenance of presence. It is the relevant positioning. This is the group stalking conduct by the entity. In doing so, Route 66 using their golf carts, they're pacing back and forth. The state is pacing via aircraft flying directly over the 280 North Lemon apartments. The people are pacing, walking back and forth through this little plaza area right here in relevant position while the state is maintaining that audible activity and maintaining light activity. This is pacing also that is ongoing in the parking lot of the 280 North Lemon Apartments, and the state and third parties are maintaining light. This is a method of light activity as they're using their vehicles, and also, again, the state is always stalking with directed light. This is entirely demonic. And in this demonic environment, this is not a separate conduct where people are walking by, going about their business. This is demonic activity, and the demon possessed are of one mind, all right? And they are engaging in coordinated conduct, and this is pacing the maintenance of group presence. And the state is sounding its sirens at 6:52, 6:54, 6:59, and again right now at 7:04 with simultaneity to my reciting that. Again, Ontario Fire sounding its sirens at 6:52 p.m., 6:54 p.m., 6:59 p.m. While I am on the internet and I am clearing out my history, the state is engaging in monitoring, obstructing the ability to upload my podcast, like I was documenting inside, obstructing the ability to upload videos to YouTube. This is not a failure of internet. That's called monitoring. That's what monitoring is. And this entity is engaging in doing that not only for funsies like it has been before I was aware. I've been subject to monitoring for years. Now that I am documenting and publishing and what is an impending prosecution, the state is engaging in a diligent act of criminal obstruction of justice. This is the pattern of conduct. That's what the fictitious prosecution is, by the way. That's what that is. That was an ongoing, egregious, unprecedented, despicable act of obstruction of justice as you are documenting and or exposing. That is built in. That is inherent to the pattern of conduct of the public entity. All right, so they are monitoring to obstruct publishing, which is to avoid justice. All right, that's the criminal purpose while they are engaging in the criminal system. All right, so I want to document that. That is the use of sirens in the state flying over, pacing via aircraft, repeatedly sounding the sirens, pacing by the people through this plaza, including Route 66. I want to make sure I document they're not just, they are directly engaging, which of course they are. They are the same people. You're talking about the people that act under some organization, under the name of some organization, act under the name of some business, act under the name of some company. It is not changing the same demon possession of the people that are operating that system, where the state's criminal system remains underway. All right. And so the relevance of, for example, identifying demon possession of those that are working at Starbucks is to make sure it is clear that that company is associated, is engaging in, is a means of facilitating that unprecedented criminal conduct, which is a threat to the life of an American citizen, where they also want to sit up in America and capitalize and have American citizens as their consumers. And it needs to be known the reality of it. All right, and this is in California, and it is rampant. And let me be clear, every single last Starbucks that I have ever been to engaging in the system, from Orange County to San Bernardino County. I am now documenting it, okay? And what I documented yet again on another day today, that was an overt act of what is an impermissible threat by the people who are documented as what is Starbucks, okay? An organization, a company, to be prosecuted as engaging in what is terrorism, in concert with the state, the third parties, the people of the state, and the state proper that is operating this system, stalking in planes and helicopters, and by law enforcement who are kidnappers and violent sex offenders. Documented yet again, okay? So I just want to document that at 7:07 p.m., and that is P.O.C. All right, I did document Ontario Police, but I want to go ahead and get the license plate of this one in particular that is used as a means of stalking with light. Ontario Police license plate 1589377. And again, the one that you see on the video, that's an African-American police officer. You can see his badge, and he has pizza on his dashboard. He hesitates sitting at the C Street turn circle. You see that in video? He sits there for a second, and then he proceeds to drive by, and this is as the state is flying over in a circle above my head in a helicopter, and as the fake sun is in perfect alignment with me at the same venue where the state's fake sun is at 7:30 in the morning. All right, this is the absolute presence of that entire demonic environment, while that Ontario police officer that is engaging in kidnapping and hiding behind what is the event, which is a means of audible activity and demonic conduct, while they are all monitoring on the venue of the internet together, all right, which I am also documenting on my phone as they are monitoring, okay? It is 7:15 p.m. The fake moon is directly over, and while this great amount of audible activity is present, the state is flying over. I'll take a picture of that. All right, I did capture what is the maintenance of audible activity while the state is stalking in aircraft, and the state is using its police vehicles as light activity as well. Okay? Fake moon piercing over the edge of 280 North Lemon. Let me show you that as well, where the state is where the state is flying over with airplanes, stalking with airplanes, where the state's directed light is present, where the state is stalking by law enforcement, the state's light sources in the sky, and at nighttime, that's a fake moon. Here it is right here. All right, I just took images of Route 66 as these men wearing their red t-shirts walk past. They have shadows in front of them, shadows behind them, and then their shadows move from being on the left and right side of them. So there's two of them walking side by side. Their shadows on both sides of them, on their left and their right. And then as they walk past me together, understand these are demons that are monitoring together. As they walk past me together, their shadows move from their sides to being in front and being behind them. Okay. This is license plate monitoring to that demonic conduct. HLA 145. That's a Florida plate. Let me get that. Driving around the turn circle. This is pacing conduct, monitoring while those demons walk past me and their shadows are moving around me. License plate HLA T45. That's a Florida plate. That's a white male stalking with Amazon Prime, who is stalking with light using their hazards in the middle of the street, monitoring with the state that's flying directly over, under the fake moon, with the Ontario police, while these demons' shadows are moving all around on the ground, okay? It is 7:18 p.m. All right, that's called audible activity in directed light. 8W29035, 8KFN452, NOCK10N, DSBBAND, 7KVF876, 6YFY409, 76191F3. All right, Starway, California number 0466573. The license plate for Starway is 93730W1. They are participating in active terrorism, monitoring with the state, stalking with the state, engaging in demonic conduct, 7EGU195. All right, I take that back. That is not Amazon Prime. This is a different van. This is license plate 95788F2. All right, and they are leaving this van, abandoning it in the middle of the street, leaving the hazards on. This is the means of stalking with light. Starway, license plate 02768T1. Same California license number, Starway. And the phone number for Starway is 951-678-2759. And that California license number again, 0466573. This vehicle that is abandoned in the street as a means of stalking with light while the people are maintaining presence in the state of stalking above, 95788F2. All right, and I take that back. That was not an Amazon Prime van. I'm looking at it up close. That's the proper identification. It's not Amazon Prime. 7EGU195. I read that one already. right, I did capture video of the Ontario Police Department engaging in terrorism, and you see the multiple shadows around that golf cart as she is crossing paths. She's engaging in the criminal elements of monitoring, and that is the mark of demon possession. That is terrorism, as I'm capturing it on video by that agency, the Ontario Police Department, who has zero form as the elements of monitoring are underway. 754 ZCP, that's a white female on a golf cart. All right, and now she is out loitering relevant position, monitoring with the rest of the demons after she knows I captured her on video. 7JCU247, license 8WPT291, 6ZXV054, and like I pointed out in that video, pay attention to the shadow activity, the light activity. They are standing around in the same exact environment. These are demons who are engaging in that conduct together, and like I said, that shadow activity is revealing what is the demon that possesses that white woman wearing that Ontario police uniform. That is the communication that is letting you know that she is demon possessed. That's a psychopath that I documented on video right now. And that's the direct evidence against the Ontario Police Department. That entire agency shall be disbanded. That is ongoing direct evidence of the kidnappers who are engaging in federal stalking right now in concert with the people of the state. That's the significance of that music that you hear in the background. And that's demonic conduct. 7W02601, 91348V2. 8W, I read that one already. In Ontario Police loitering, and I read that license plate while they're sitting around loitering with the people of the state in directed light, demons. 6CEA098. 7UTV008. Bye, Satan. I'm gonna see you later. I'm gonna see you in court. All right. USPS engaging in P.O.C, stalking with light, using their headlights, monitoring with the Ontario Police Department, and this is Black Knight. All right, monitoring with the Ontario Police, monitoring with the people. All right, stalking with light, Ontario Police using vehicle number 7BUW156. Stalking with light with the United States Postal Service, 5FCJ138, monitoring with the same entity. That's the Ontario Fire Department repeating use of its sirens. And these demons are just maintaining presence in an absolutely unnatural and demented environment, speaking to that rampant, vast demon possession, 4KMU242 included. License LV-L8A5. That's a Nevada plate and it looks weird. It says LV and then it says L8A5. All right. Molesting with light, 5X. SS230, that's the amplification of audible activity while the sex offender is touching. And this is demon possessed, engaging in that sexual violence, touching all over my breasts, my thighs, touching all over my body, turned his car on and off just so he could touch. That's P.O.C. See you later, Satan. I'm gonna get you. 8WGE912, just sitting in his car, stalking in the lot, then turns his car on in order to touch with light. And then you hear that amplified sound of an engine. Right? That's the state creating audible activity while he's touching with light. That's demonic conduct. That's the sex offender. The same one who has been loitering in relevant position, this entity is engaging in sexual violence while my panties are down. And this is how they engage in ongoing touching while they're monitoring. And that, what I captured in video, again, you're going to want to pay attention to that directed light. It's the direct evidence and you're witnessing demonic activity in real time. That abnormal light conduct as their shadows appear and disappear as they know that I'm documenting. Shadows in front of them, on both sides of them. And while the Ontario police drive by, understand the golf cart that she's on has multiple shadows. This woman is demon possessed. This woman is a psychopath and she is stalking me and acting in concert and doing so through a Route 66 event. That is the reality of what I'm documenting. 8XMG980, 8XDT281, 7JXN320, 7YGS754. 6GUJ714, 7CTM426, and understand the United States Postal Service, that's a state actor, all right? And they are intentionally present with knowledge of the published documentation representing that same poignant threat and with intent, okay? So you're speaking about prosecuting the state on many, many levels. That's a state actor. All right, they are a state agency. They are engaging in monitoring, stalking with light, loitering in relevant position, and a terrorizing threat. All right, also having engaged in documented kidnapping conduct, monitoring me while I was kidnapped by the Sheriff's Department, the Ontario Police Department, and the Rancho Cucamonga Superior Court. 7HPB691, 6CDH052, 6LSE791, BE21T62 paper, 8ROK437, 6BPW 680, 8WKJ 033, 8RSE 885, 7NBM 022. It is 7:26 p.m. This truck has no license plate on it whatsoever. That's hilarious. 7TPA 418, 8LXDO 80. All right, and as I walk in this dark parking lot, my shadow is surrounding me. And this is what the state does too. As I focus my vision on something, light activity will appear. All right. So what is the light activity? Right. My own shadow is appearing on the faces of these license plates where I am standing at a distance. I'm not close enough for my shadow to appear. The state is directing light and creating light activity on the face of the license plates as I focus my vision on them. All right. That is the psychopath stalker. That's what the state is doing with light at all times. None of them have any form whatsoever. The ongoing direct evidence is that environment that is being maintained while they're present intentionally with that state. 8GNT 513, 7KLAB 843, the shadow of that vehicle reaching a distance and moving in real time. Just like I showed you on the video, that group stalker walks past me, and just like I showed you on my video, my shadow was moving in front of me as I'm walking. All right? That's what the vehicle, that's the people acting with the state. And it is the mark of demon possession. That demented conduct with light. That freaky, weird conduct with light. It's beyond that. It's satanic. All right. And it is that of sex offenders that like to touch while they're engaging in what is obsessive demonic stalking. It is ritualistic. It's personifying actually that obsessed stalker. All right. The state's fake moon no more over the 280 North Lemon Apartments. It's right over here off of Hope Boulevard. And again, like I already showed you in video, as Union Pacific is engaging in terrorism, stalking with the state, fake moon over the museum while I'm over there. 7LZL 667. It's 7:28 p.m. Stalker directed light in front of their vehicle. 90907Y2. 7XOX663, PFX 489. A group stalker on a bike using a spotlight to cross path. License plate 5ASE 817. And this event, this conduct shows you the extent to which the state goes. That's how much of an obsessed stalker the Ontario Police Department is. That's the extent, that's the lengths that they'll go to. 7RCZ 178. And like I said, they don't have any form. And everything that they do, I continue to demonstrate the same exact point. They are very dangerous criminals, disbanding that police department, and many are going to federal prison. Federal prison. There is no negotiating with terrorists. Those are the worst kind of terrorists. Those are the worst kind. They're worse than foreign enemies. They're domestic ones, armed with, commissioned with, honoring the Constitution, and they are engaging in terrorism of an American citizen. They're the worst kind. They belong in federal prison. License plate. License 10874W1. Besides the fact that they're dangerous because it's demon possession, you need to understand the reality, the implications of that. Those are psychopaths. They are unstable. All right. They are out of their minds. BS83409. Out of their minds. They have no business in law enforcement whatsoever. And while I'm out here, ongoing molestation by these demons altogether. License plate PBV3838. 70494U2. The same demonic activity that I captured amongst the Ontario police. It's right here. 8TNY 572. 7PDY 189. Did he make a U-turn? Is that the same one? No, 8NAW 613. Or 8NWA 613. 8NPL 877. All of them are sex offenders. All of them. 8WNZ 055. All right, my shadow reaching across the street onto 3-star janitorial while this stalking sex offender crosses path. That's acting with the state. 5NWZ 879. My shadow reaching across the street. I'm at Lemon and Holt. My shadow appearing across 3-star janitorial. 7VKS 955. All right, that demented environment is a direct a direct indicator of the demented minds, the demented mental state, all right, the demented condition. All right, this is license plate 7LTW 835. And these sex offenders been sitting up listening to me use the bathroom all day long. 8FFM 752. That's how demons and get their kicks, thinking they have some great secret going on. BXDT 281. They don't. They're sex offenders. They're the worst kind. All right. And these are sex offenders that like to touch. They like to engage in kidnapping. They want to try to keep your mouth shut so you don't tell nobody that they're sex offenders and that they're stalkers. You know, that's as violent as it gets. License 56623C3. A sex offender that likes to engage in very weird conduct with light, stalking with light, wants to touch you with light, creating multiple shadows with light. That's no sunlight or any light from a lamp or street lamp. That's a very demented actor who is kneeling in, listening to everything you got going on in the bathroom. Okay? Very violent sex offender. And then having an Ontario police uniform. Okay? And then drives by with a straight face like they don't have any form. And I've literally made bare her demonic mental psychosis. Look at the light activity all around her. 5HVT593. Look at the environment that she's in, the state of stalking. The fake moon is over my head. Multiple shadows as these demons are walking all around. Their shadows are moving in real time while their bodies are not. Okay? Satan. That golf cart had shadows all around. All right? That lets you know that she is unstable. She has no business being a police officer. That goes for the entire agency. She's not alone. The randomness of that, and I'm consistent in my documentation. All right, you're disbanding the Ontario Police Department. All right, they are a harm, they are a danger. All right, and so are the people of the state, but they represent law enforcement. You deal with that accordingly. License plate. Go on ahead. 6KMR810. That's audible activity. Corey ZZU 880. Monitoring to that audible activity while these demons are molesting with light. All right, demonic conduct of sex offenders. All right, they're very violent sex offenders, and I cannot stress that enough. But I'm going to publish this documentation, and I'm going to publish the documentation speaking to what is the criminal obstruction of justice, which is the pattern of conduct. That's exactly what I documented with regard to the Rancho Cucamonga Superior Court and the San Bernardino Superior Court, evading service of process. That's a criminal act of obstruction of justice. All right, this is built into the pattern of conduct. All right, but engaging in monitoring, trying to slow down the ability to access internet because you don't want evidence about your demented state, the fact that you're a sex offender, the fact that you are a repeat kidnapper, the fact that you are a psychopath, all right? K54OUO. All right, that's called criminal obstruction of justice, and you are naturally engaging in that as you engage in the P.O.C. While the target individual is documenting you. You continue to engage in that system, which is ongoing criminal acts of obstruction of justice. So like I said, the ongoing federal charges, they are multitudinous while you're engaging in federal stalking. It is license plate 45128R2. And these sex offenders over here monitoring with minor children, 5GUJ607, 8XJC783. And again, I'm just reading the license plate that they are accessing or driving. Not necessarily their car, but that identity is what's going to be assigned to them. 08097H2. Same thing with the companies. 8RNU270. Amazon Prime drives Hertz vehicles. FedEx drives Fluid vehicles. All right, whatever it is that you're driving, whatever it is that you're flying in, that is what the targeted individual will document. And it will be assigned with that. You leave it up to the entity itself to take it up with each other with regards to whether they want their companies associated with demon possession and terrorism of American citizens. Because believe me, they don't. They're going to lose they're going to lose money, they're going to lose credibility, they're going to lose reputation. And that is more than a paycheck, by the way. And that's exactly what I'm documenting with regards to companies such as Starbucks. They are setting what is a template for prosecuting companies who are engaging in, and understand the state is relying on companies, on actors, third parties, such as Starbucks, where this system is underway. All right. So this demon-possessed entity, Understand, this is the maintenance of presence while they're over here at the museum where no Route 66 show is ongoing. They're group stalking in the same directed light where the state is still stalking, flying over the museum, all right? And they're maintaining presence over here. So let me get you, because this represents the whole as they are stalking on the ground. That's the starting of an ignition as I operate my phone. This is a stalker that's loitering in relevant position. That is license plate 4UWZ583. Group stalking, sitting in the dark on transit, all right, starts their car the moment that how long you want to touch to? You're a sex offender, all right, stalking with activity and is a sex offender touching with light, all right? And that's an old white man. He looks like a rapist. He looks like a sex offender, all right? But the demon possessed, you can't see that, but I'm letting you know that's the conduct that he's engaging in. Monitoring with this group stalker who I just took a picture of, stalking at the museum while they're all focused on me. That Route 66 is a guise for what is ongoing federal stalking. It's an act of terrorism by the people and the state. 8JUN326. And they are also at the museum, just like I captured on video. And this is the guise for what is ongoing heavy duty stalking by the people, as I document hundreds and thousands of them, literally. All right, that's P.O.C. and they'll be documented for that as well. I mean, prosecuted for that. I've already documented. They'll be prosecuted for that because everything that they are doing is relevant. It's under that same context as this psychopath sits over here in directed light, acting like he's focused on talking on the phone, which is operating a communication device in relevant position. I'll be prosecuting the entirety of the entity for that. All right, they have an entity. They're very, very concerned about me. This is a stalker. This is Satan, though, operating over people. So you got another stalker that replaces the other one that was stalking in the dark. So this one replaces it. 7TJW288. That's an old white woman. Group stalking in the same position. Understand, he's sitting on the grounds of the museum, and they are replacing a vehicle in alignment with where he's sitting. This is light and present on both sides as I am walking. Okay? Traffic on Euclid at a standstill and patrolling. That's presence and light as I am walking. Okay? Being at the Ontario Town Square where they're holding that event where the same exact hallmarks, not just the elements, but the hallmarks are present. The fake moon. Okay? Ontario police being present. That's stalking by law enforcement. They don't have any form. But in addition to that, you have the directed light. These minions that are walking around in an entirely unnatural and abnormal environment. Their shadows are literally moving around from side to side and to the front and back of them while they're walking around playing music, which is audible activity. That's how demons conduct themselves. All right, there is no form. You will never get the truth out of the mouth of a demon-possessed group stalker. That's the nature of the system that I'm exposing. All right, and this is speaking to upon establishing that pattern of conduct, there is no legitimacy. There is no presumption of any legitimacy. It is an irrebuttable presumption as a matter of law upon establishing that pattern of conduct, the irrebuttable presumption of public corruption at every level of government. That is what is necessary as a matter of justice where the target individual, an American citizen, has established a prima facie case for federal stalking by a public entity. Because this is the system, and I've shown it through the wealth of my documentation. They do not have any legitimacy. Everything comes out of their mouth is nothing but audible activity. These are demons. You're not dealing with ordinary people. You're dealing with demons. Okay? They are liars, in other words. They are liars. The documentation, the facts speak for themselves. The facts speak for themselves. So in other words, because the court says it or because the police officer says it, it doesn't mean anything. Not where federal stalking is underway. 8WAG 6469, 7MM B962, 8SIS 732, 8PBV 834. They're all maintaining presence as I walk down transit. 5UKL 450. Light activity via signage on the street. 2866 OC3. And Ontario Police is monitoring all of this. This is the forum for what the Ontario Police really want to do, which is stalk and do it out in the open. Okay? So Route 66 is supposed to be some form for that, and it's not. It is not. You're seeing how the people engage in demonic activity. 8JYB 951. It is 7:40 p.m. Fake moon is over the museum, just like I stated. And I want to be clear, the actual sun not only am I documenting what is the state's talking about the light source? But this is common sense. The sun is not at the same exact location where the moon is. This is not the sun or the moon. You're literally putting the moon over the same building where you put your fake sun during the day. That's the asinine entity that I'm documenting. You got a group stalker. This is a demon-possessed stalker. This is terrorism by the people. The whole entity, which is stalking at the museum, folding his shirt on the bench. He's stalking in the path while the fake moon is over the museum. And the Ontario police are listening to every word. Okay? Monitoring in relevant position in this directed light while these demon-possessed stalkers that are the people are maintaining presence on the grounds of the museum. It is 7:41 p.m. And that is the reality of what is demon possession as I'm exposing it. The demon possessed are engaging in what is the outward demonstration of what is obsession. This is that which is a stalker that is amongst a group. Okay? So that satanic entity that is operating over the group is obsessed. All right? And that's based on objective conduct. These are stalkers that want to be around. They are consumed with what Erica Lorraine Spencer is doing, where Erica Lorraine Spencer is going, what Erica Lorraine Spencer is saying as she is saying it. All right? Anything that Erica Lorraine Spencer may or may not know. That's a reality, and this is satanic. And understand that is based, that inspiration, that obsession amongst people who I personally know and do not personally know. And actually, you don't actually know any third party whose name, you just know their name because you don't actually know that you're being monitored. So you don't really know those people. And unfortunately, it goes for those who you may be related to as well. You don't really know them because you don't even know that they're monitoring, nor do you know that you're surrounded by those who are demon possessed. All right, so that's speaking to you the knowledge of how well you know them. But nonetheless, you know their name. And there is an obsessive quality, obsessed with everything that I'm doing, where I'm going. And that is not changing. That is the exact condition, the reality of the situation, the mental concern of the Ontario Police Department. Understand that. No hyperbole. I don't have to exaggerate. And I don't find that flattering. This is the reality of demonic possession. And this is an obsessed entity because this is consumption by demonic possession. All right. So for whatever reason, this demonic entity, the satanic entity, is obsessed with me and is acting amongst a group to engage in what is stalking. And I have created a legal framework whereby not only can you recognize it, you can identify it by hallmarks. There are indicators. All right. But you can prosecute it as well. Prosecuting that which you cannot see, which is demon possession. And it is not in violation of the Constitution to do so, because you're not basing it on the fact that they're demon possessed. All right, that's context for what is terrorism, that terrorizing environment, while those who are of a demented state, which is a psychopath, that is demon possessed, that's a psychopath, engaging in the ongoing stalking with an environment and stalking as a group, which is terrorism by that group, practiced by a government. Okay, that's terrorism practiced in the United States of America, the state of California. It is 7:44 p.m. That is P.O.C. All right, 7:53 p.m. Union Pacific, engaging in maintenance of audible activity at the Museum of History and Arts, where the Ontario Police remain in relevant position monitoring. The people are monitoring to this ongoing activity. That's Union Pacific at what you're hearing right now, and it is amplified while this is the ongoing use of audible activity at this venue under the fake moon. Okay, it is 7:55 p.m. under the fake moon and in directed light. That is Union Pacific engaging in P.O.C, identifiable on the Amtrak train tracks. It's attributed to that state actor as well. And the Ontario Police remain in relevant position monitoring in that ongoing environment, which is maintained where I am at the museum. And the people are stalking, maintaining presence in relevant position. All right. The state has also created light activity on Euclid Avenue via the signage. The people are maintaining light activity in traffic. The state is engaging in ongoing directed light over here at the museum where I'm at. Okay. It is that is P.O.C, and Union Pacific is undoubtedly engaging in criminal facilitation of what is terrorism and sexual violence. 7:55 p.m. So that is Union Pacific. Let's break it down. Union Pacific monitoring with the Ontario Police. Okay, it is 7:56 p.m. P.O.C. That's called amplification. That's Union Pacific and the people. Understand the state is amplifying everything. All right, where the state is using you as the guise of the creation of activity, the maintenance of activity, you are monitoring with that state. You are engaging in demonic conduct. You are a terrorist. All right, it's 7:56 p.m. That's P.O.C.
All right, 7:57 p.m. This is when the train activity ceases. The state layers on that. I just want to document plane activity immediately following the train. So that was the ongoing layering of audible activity. It's just the maintenance of noise. All right, harassment is inherent to what is terrorism by a public entity, by that which is demon possessed. All right, this is issues as they demonstrated by their terrorism and the environment that they're in. It is a direct indicator of the mental disturbance that is present, and that is naturally, it is automatically, it is axiomatic where you are engaging in federal stalking and where you are documented engaging in federal stalking. Your mental state is up for question automatically. It's a satanic system, and it is engaged in by psychopaths. 7:59 p.m. Just want to document what is the state following immediately with a commercial plane flying in a straight line directly over the museum. P.O.C. 8:32 p.m. Union Pacific engaging in P.O.C. with the state again, and the state amplifying it so loud that it is competing. I have headphones on, and I'm playing that which is loud on headphones, and the state is engaging and amplifying it to the degree that it is competing with my headphones that I have on. That is immediately following my documenting what are third-party group stalkers under the name of Mighty Cash Cats. They are creating audible activity in the state's environment, monitoring with the Ontario police, who are kidnappers and sex offenders, engaging in terrorism, and doing so in the city of Ontario in that environment. I want to be clear, what I captured is direct evidence of that ongoing system, and performing at an event is no form. It is called criminal facilitation and engagement in the state's criminal pattern of conduct. And this is how, by the way, the people engage in the system in the state of California with the state. And that band is called Mighty Cash Cats. I did capture the images, and the documentation is what it serves as, of memorializing this event in the city of Ontario, and speaking to what is the Route 66 event, and the quote-unquote headliner. They're a demon-possessed stalker. They're engaging in the state's pattern of conduct, and I'm unimpressed. But they're referred to as Mighty Cash Cats. They're engaging in demonic activity as they use their voices and engage in singing, which is audible activity in relevant position, which the Ontario Police Department were using to engage in ongoing stalking today. Okay, that's what the Mighty Cash Cats were engaging in, and that's what I documented, and that's what I'm going to publish. There is no forum where the state's criminal pattern of conduct is underway. As I am documenting this, this is when Union Pacific, and understand that this is the demonic hostility communicated as the criminal elements are underway. The substantial amplification of that audible activity such that it is invading with regard to the use of my headphones. And this is loud train activity. Under any circumstances, it's audible activity, but I want to specifically document what are the acts of harassment and terrorism, and this is going to Union Pacific. The state is monitoring via the use of that train on the Amtrak train tracks, okay? That is demon possession, that's terrorism engaged in by Union Pacific, again at 8:32 p.m. That's P.O.C. It's 8:34 p.m. right now. That's P.O.C. 8:36 p.m. Flying in a line over the museum. P.O.C. That's super amplification of Union Pacific, flashing light on the wall right here next to me. That's impossible light activity, while the state is amplifying that son of a train. That's Union Pacific, that is again on the track. 8:47 p.m. All right, the entity is monitoring to that, and that, like I showed you, that moving, flashing white light is right next to me. That is unmistakable federal stalking conduct. That's terrorism by Union Pacific. All right, the state's pattern of conduct is established. You're seeing how Union Pacific is engaging in the state's pattern of conduct. All right, the impossible placement of that's demonic. What you are witnessing is demonic activity as it is being engaged in through the means of a train. Okay. The personification of that demonic presence and conduct. Moving flashing light across this door that I showed you on the other night where Union Pacific was engaging in monitoring. Moving light, which is just light appearing out of the atmosphere, out of nowhere. That is inexplicable light.
where a wall is aligned to the opposite side of the museum, flashing light is appearing next to me, while the train is creating what is amplified audible activity. The state is stalking, as I just showed you. The Ontario police are stalking. They are always stalking. They were conspicuously stalking. That's the documentation. That's the pattern of conduct that I showed you. That was conspicuous stalking. And you have what is the state that is stalking via aircraft, and the fake moon is over this venue. All right. Union Pacific engaging in P.O.C, and that is pacing again on the tracks. That's 8:48 p.m. You hear the amplified audible activity, and that coexists with what I showed you is the light activity and the ongoing group stalking by the people and the state. That's P.O.C. It's 9:03, and Union Pacific is the means of stalking with activity while I'm on the venue of the internet. They are monitoring online. I am on my browser right now, so that's Union Pacific engaging in federal stalking pursuant to what is demonic terrorism. All right, it's 9:03 p.m. P.O.C. and you hear that amplification. There's the sound of more than one train as well, okay? More than one train sounding. That's the state just filling the environment with ongoing, substantially amplified sound while it is stalking, monitoring on the venue of the internet, P.O.C.